新たなチャプターへメロディと共に聴いてくれさあ行こう俺の秘密見たいか知りたいか怪獣の子が生きること秘密謎強制され隠さなければ誰もが知らない不思議に包まれてる不思議に運命を分け合うため早く人気になりたい誰だってみんな違うんだみんなと共になりたいやばいやばいどうしたらいいの夢は人気になるほど時たち君と過ごせば夢に連れてく先がなるなら日常は充実して通学も青春なんてそんなね無駄じゃないだって君がいるからつながっているんだ
Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. How's it going? What's good? What's crack-a-lack? Wow. Made it just in time for you. 2 years. Thank you for 24 months, Abysmal. Wow. So great. So cool. Ugh, my tummy hurts a little bit. Ah! I ate too many cookies. I ate some cookies with dinner. And that was stupid. But they were so good. They tasted so good, though. Ah.
Man, I'm parched.
Anyway. How y'all doing? I've been so busy. I've been so busy making paper move. That's me. Wow. I am the Psycho Mantis controller VTuber. That's me. Oh, my legacy is unbelievable. Anyway. Yes, I don't want my tummy to hurt no more. We're gonna read some visual novels tonight. Spooky ones. They're gonna be good. I want to showcase some. This is the last showcase before the award show, so I wanted to make sure I played some that you guys would think are really cool. What a claim to fame! Yep. Thanks, YouTube. I appreciate it though. A lot of people thought it was great, and now they're here. Hello, it's nice to meet all of you. For those that are new, my name is Chizu ᴠɪᴅᴇᴏ. I'm your student council president. I'm also like a Moe Monster Slayer or something like that. I don't know. I have a new model coming out in like a month or two. It all depends on how fast I can get it rigged. And I'm not trying to go fast. I'm trying to do it right. And I spent all day doing head angles on it. And I might have to redo them. But that's the nature of art or something. I don't know. Yeah, no one's gonna let me live that down. And that's okay. I've chosen 3 visual novels tonight that I think you guys will really appreciate. I had a good time with them. Since this is the last one, I'm just gonna pick some that I played that I know you guys will like. But that's all I know about it. Award show on Sunday. I'm totally ready. I'm totally prepared. Totally prepared to host the 2025 Spooktober Visual Novel Jam awards. Second year in a row! Let's go! Can't believe it's already been a year since the last one. A lot has happened. 325... How's it go? 625,000. I don't know the fucking song. A bunch of minutes! Something about a year. Rent. I don't know about Rent. Oh yeah! I'm just like one of your IRL friends and my nickname is Horny Coyote Girl. I mean, that's pretty accurate, I guess. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah! It's been a crazy year. But this next year is gonna be crazier, but in a good way. A lot of cool things are happening. A lot of really cool things are happening. I don't know if you guys are ready for all the cool things that are happening. Oh my god, that's kind of funny the way you wrote that. ᴠɪᴅᴇᴏ곶? That's funny. That's funny. Why can't I do my... Hold on. There we go. Wait. There we go. Rest in peace. Yeah, no. That's silly. Days have just flown by. Fly Day Chinatown. You guys like City Pop? Alright, so those of you that are watching on Twitch, I gotta tell you something. There's only one more Twitch stream. Please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and get notifications so you know when I go live. Also join the Chizcord, our community Discord server, so that you can get links to the lives as they happen, because I will not be streaming on Twitch anymore after Sunday. I think I've talked about why enough, but surely you could figure it out. Surely you could figure it out. Listen, YouTube is cool. YouTube streams are cool. You should go there. That's just the way it is. Because Sunday's my last Twitch stream. There's a lot going on logistically and other stuff too. I'm really unhappy with a lot of things that have happened. Is it the TwitchCon drama? That's just icing on the cake, okay? That's just a straw on the camel's back. There's a lot of other problems, but that didn't help. A lot of TwitchCon stuff happened. A lot of it. Like, whatever you think it is, add like 5 more issues on top of it, and that's why. Alright? However, I'll still be streaming on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, I'll be doing a members-only karaoke. I think I'll do members only. Maybe I'll start with a yap session and then do members only for karaoke. That's the plan anyway. And then, I don't know, the normal stuff, playing games and all that. Oh yeah, that's right, you told me. Yeah, I remember now. They had another... Wait, they had a Twitch charity they fudged up? Dang. They just keep racking up big fat L's. Sorry. Sorry. That's just... Damn. It's just the way it is. It's the way it goes sometimes. But really cool stuff is on the horizon. One with, you know, my own stuff. I have a debut coming up in a month or two. And then other cool stuff that has to do with my agency and auditions for said agency opening up, which will lead to an eventual other kind of debut, probably next year. I'm super duper excited for all the cool stuff that's happening this coming year. I hope you guys are excited too. We're also gonna watch a scary movie in the Discord server tomorrow. You don't want to miss that. What are we gonna watch? A lot of people want to watch Troll 2. Have any of you ever seen Troll 2? Any of y'all ever seen Troll 2? That's how the biscuit crumbles. If your biscuit is crumbly, you better go to a doctor. That sounds like a yeast infection. You better watch out. The one where they kill the grandpa? Yeah, it's the one where that happens and then the bologna sandwich scares them off and then the one guy's like, oh my god! They're eating her! And then they're gonna eat me! Oh my god! That scene. We might watch that tomorrow. Yeah, they're bad. It's bad. The Troll movies are bad. Troll 2 is especially bad, but it's infamously bad. What's up, Hugo? Hi. Oh, my tummy is crazy. My tummy is like having a all-out brawl. I'm probably gonna burp or something. As long as it's not something else. Ernie. Trolls. Wait, are you talking about like the Justin Timberlake movie? The Anna Kendrick movie? Happy birthday, Hugo. Oh, you were thinking of... I got this feeling inside my bones. It turns out like something electric, something, when it's something. Whatever. You know the song. I don't know how it goes. I forgot how it goes. Are you guys ready? You guys ready for some visual novels? Oh my god, I popped on your Insta last night. That means you're pregnant. You better get that checked out. You might want to get another biscuit. Those are not cheap. All right. Let's go. Oh man, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my damn mind. What are we gonna play first? Bum ba-dum, bum 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 bum. That's the wrong number. Let's do this one first. I thought this one had a cool style. Let me see if I can do full screen. Full screen! What? VHS toggle. We like that. Alright. You guys ready? Are you guys ready? Let me press the buttons. Let me press some buttons. Cool! It's called We Belong Dead. Whoa! It's like science or something. I don't know. What makes a body? What makes a body? Like a student body? That's like you guys. It's a pretty straightforward question with an equally straightforward answer. A body usually consists of a head, a torso, 2 arms, an abdomen, and 2 legs. What about inside it? Inside the body? Well, it'd have a brain, 2 eyes, lungs, intestines, nerves, blood, a heart. Some might even argue a soul. I didn't believe in souls or spirituality or anything like that before. Maybe it's better to say that I just didn't think about it enough to ever consider it to be real. I had my nose in too many biology books to worry about something as far-fetched as ghosts. However, Sinclair was always full of surprises. It's cold. It's always cold. The leaves on the trees only just started to change to that shade of red that reminds me of you. I know you hate the comparison, but I keep hoping that maybe the thought will help warm me up. But it doesn't. It never does. I've just finished my final observations of a nearby building. I reach over to my bag and pull out my notebook. I thumb through it until I find today's date. 10xdx 20xdx. Schedule and notes. 4. Walk around the lake. Nothing of note today. No further thoughts. 7:30. Finalized list of materials. All necessary materials have been written down. All additional materials are stocked and accounted for in the lab. 9:30. Finalized list of prospective gathering points. Check the surrounding area once more before tonight. Hospital, no change in security schedule. Blind spots still in play. Science facility, no change in passcode. Stolen badge still works. 11. Teresa's day in the lab. Don't forget! Don't be late. 9 p.m. Begin search. A sense of dread overcomes me. I look over to my watch to check the time. It's 10:58. Ah, fuck. Forgot again. I pocket my notebook and start heading towards my lab. Shouldn't have been so engrossed in my observations. Maybe I should have done it after Teresa's arrival. I really forgot I asked her to come today specifically. Oh, Estella! I was about to call ya. I thought you might have fallen asleep or something. Teresa, a student that Laura asked me to hire temporarily. She only comes in some days for a few hours to help organize some things around the lab, but that's all. Apparently she needs hands-on experience for her degree. I can't remember. I don't even remember what she's studying in the first place. Good morning to you as well. And no, I just lost track of time. Shit, my bad. Good morning. Give her a small nod as we head inside. Looks the same as it always does. Messy. I'm used to it by now. But she isn't. You know, one of these days you're gonna have to clean up around here. I'm aware. I move to my desk and set down my bag. I can feel Teresa watching me. She's waiting for an assignment. She even feels more antsy than usual. Well, that makes sense considering what today is. Teresa, can you tell me what's on the agenda today? You're starting a big project or something, right? That's right. I'm going to need your help with it. Lots of prep work to do. You can count on me, boss. I'll have it all ready before tonight. Excellent. It's extremely crucial that everything is perfect for tonight. Teresa gives me a quick nod before shuffling off to another part of the lab. I take this moment to sit at my desk and release a sigh I've been holding on to. Then I feel her presence. Can't help the smile that crawls on my lips. You were late again. Spin my chair around to face her. Sinclair. Ethereal. Luminescent. And ever so breathtaking. Sinclair. My Sinclair. Why were you late this time? Finishing my final rounds of inspection. Can never be too careful after all. So you're really going through with it? Of course I am. This is for you. I told you I didn't want this. And I told you that I do. Because I miss you. I need you. Beat of silence passes. Her expression doesn't change. Don't you miss me? Of course I do. Then you understand. You should be more excited. Why should I be excited for what you're about to do? Stella, I'd be happier if you moved. I told you to stop saying that. Another beat passes. I can feel the room drop a bit in temperature. Her expression changes. You never listen to me. We because you're not making any sense. I truly don't understand why you'd be happier staying dead than being with me. The dead should stay dead, Estella. I'm worried about what this will do to you. Do to me? What about you being gone? Have you thought about what that has done to me? A third beat of silence. Neither of us want to back down. Yet Sinclair sighs. I never could change your mind. Wait. But she doesn't. Just as I try to reach for her, she vanishes completely. As if she was never here at all. So strange. No matter how many times she's visited me, still can't get over how the only sound in the room is that of my own breathing and nothing else. I hate it. I prepared for this. I worked hard for this. Tirelessly. Endlessly. Desperately. Sinclair, did you know? In the small moments when sleep would catch me, I only ever saw your face. You never said a word. Didn't move an inch, only ever stared. Your eyes pierced through me as I tried my best to reach for you, to touch you, to be with you, and then I'd wake up. Isn't it cruel? You felt so close but forever out of my reach because you left me here. It's just unfair. I don't care if you don't want me to do this. I don't care if it's the stars, the universe, or even gods themselves that want to trap you and keep you away from me. I'm bringing you back home. I'm bringing you back to me. What is she going to be necromancing? Is this a necromance? Welcome in, Paco, inside the taco. That one short is going to be my legacy, isn't it? Golly. There's no turning back now. From my bag, I pull out my notebook and open it from a tabbed section. In here, I see the drawn interior maps and notes I wrote for 2 possible harvesting locations tonight. The hospital or the science facility. Were I to pick the hospital, that would solidify my choice in reviving Sinclair by human means. Hospital does in fact have a surgery section where they store various parts and organs that would be ideal for this experiment. Of course, I can't be greedy and take everything at once, let alone from one location. It'd draw too much attention. Even with this security schedule memorized and the blind spots from cameras I've discovered, I need to be as careful as possible. Were I to pick the science facility, that would solidify my choice in reanimating Sinclair by mechanical means. The facility in question does have the materials I require, and even more that would prove useful for this experiment. On the other hand, I have to be just as cautious with my movements and what I gather. Thankfully, the facility's passcodes haven't changed out of rotation, and the badge I required still unlocks necessary areas for my search. Both options are plausible. I've sat on this decision over the last few weeks, analyzing every possible advantage and disadvantage each would bring. But now, I've never been more sure in which path I must take. Alright, I gotta pick one. Should we go to the hospital? And reanimate her with biological parts? Or should we do a soma? Should we do a soma on her and get robot parts? Huh. What do you think, chat? What do you think, Yodi Pack? You wanna go to the science facility? Let's go to the science facility. Hey, Sinclair, did you know? I've been here once before. I had an interview with for a research lead position. You were actually the one who told me about it. Said you heard about it from a friend of a friend. I still remember the day of that interview. You asked if I was nervous. Got caught off guard when I said yes. You were so confident that I was as calm as the sea. I was nothing but a bundle of nerves. Metal is stronger than flesh. And it's also heavier than feathers. I didn't sleep the night before, running on only one large Americano and a bite of your toast. I hated that Americano, by the way. I'm sure you knew from my expression every time I took a sip. You wouldn't stop the small laughs that you tried to hide. It's okay. I forgive you. You'll just have to make me a lovely Earl Grey once you're back, okay? You didn't come with me to the interview. It had something to do with a classmate for an assignment. He promised to pick me up, but it wasn't necessary in the end. You remember why? I bombed the interview. A massive fuck-up, if I do say so myself. I remember walking out of the facility as composed as I could be. However, the moment I was outside, I ran straight home, shaking with anger. I locked myself in my room and didn't come out for nearly 3 days. I didn't want to talk to or see anyone except you. I sent you one text message, and you didn't answer. How long ago was that? 4 years ago? I haven't been back to that facility since. At least, not until recently. It wasn't that difficult to get in. Security would normally be a tricky variable. However, when you've spent countless hours studying them from afar, convincing them with familiar behaviors shouldn't arouse any suspicions. A quick nod, a brisk stride, swiping the stolen badge as confidently as if it were my own. They were none the wiser. Act as if you belong and no one will question you. I think Laura calls that fake it till you make it. Now comes the hard part. Although I have the entire facility's layout memorized, I cannot assure what locations are vacant and safe enough to traverse through with full guarantee. What I do know is that this hour has the lightest amount of staff and where they should be stationed. All I can do is hope that they stick to their schedules and stay out of my way. I won't be here long anyway. I can't lie. My heart's pounding and I can feel my anxiety climbing with every step I take. It's kind of funny. It makes me think back to that horrible interview. Was I this anxious back then, or am I more anxious now? I'm not sure. I finally make it to the room I was looking for. Thankfully, no run-ins or prying eyes thus far. Hopefully it continues to stay that way. I look around the entire room for what I need, access to the synthetic skin. This will be the first step towards bringing Sinclair back to life. I spot a row of workstations and walk over to one. I type in the credentials from the badge and I'm greeted with the workstation's home screen. It doesn't take me long to find the records on the facility's project, quickly reading through each sample they have listed. Since I plan to cover her right shoulder and some of her face, I don't need to take a lot from the facility right now. They seem to carry an ample supply, though, which is reassuring. All I have to worry about is choosing what I believe would work best for Sinclair's body. In my research for this endeavor, I have found documentation of synthetic skin having a significantly lower chance of being rejected by the body in comparison to regular skin transplants. Though I was fully prepared to steal as many samples as necessary heading out of the hospital, a part of me is glad to have come here instead. After much deliberation, I decided on a sample that not only matches her previous skin tone, but has listed properties that I think Sinclair's body is more likely to accept. I find the storage location of the sample within the file and turn to look for it on the designated shelf, confirming it's the right one. I slip it carefully into my bag and return to shut off the workstation. All I have to do now is leave. Somehow, I'm still incredibly nervous. I managed to leave the facility undetected. When it hit that I was actually out of the facility, all the anxiety and nervous energy inside me washed away, replaced with anticipation and hope. Because I did it. I did it. I'm one step closer to bringing Sinclair back. I couldn't help it. Once I knew I was far enough away, I took off into a full sprint and began laughing. Ha ha ha! Oh my god! For a second time, I find myself running away from the facility. Except this time, it's not in anger, but in triumph. I'm out of breath by the time I make it to the lab. I can feel the way my hands and legs are shaking as I reach for the door and get inside. My heart hasn't stopped pounding even for a second since I left the facility. Can't waste any time. I don't want to waste any time. The sooner we test this sample and confirm it's a working match, the sooner I can move this experiment on to the next phase. Just thinking about that makes me dizzy. I head to my office and find Teresa waiting there. When she realizes I've arrived, she practically jumps out of the seat. Stella, you're back! How did it... Grab the IV and tools, Teresa. We have to act quickly. Yes, ma'am. While Teresa leaves, I drop my bag to the desk, only taking the stolen sample with me. I walk around my office a bit more, grabbing any additional materials that might be necessary for the experiment. Once I'm sure I have all I need, I head to the center of the lab. Teresa's already there, preparing the station. All the tools and materials for tonight are right next to it. I glance over them, making sure everything is accounted for. Felt an itch beginning under my skin as I looked over every tool intensely. It's almost as if my body was screaming at me to start working already, begging to cut. And I will, soon. I think that's everything, Estella. Did you want me to get the test subject? I can't help the wicked smile on my face. Yes, Teresa, please bring her to me. She nods before walking off to the freezer. Doesn't take very long for her to come back with the rolling table, holding the draped subject. I approach it and reach out, carefully caressing where I know her cheek is. She's so cold. With this drape over her. She used to feel so warm to the touch. Alive. I'm going to fix that. Going to fix everything. Wait for me, Sinclair. This is only the beginning. Yes. Yes! It worked! It really worked! Her body took the sample. Does that mean... Yes, our experiment tonight was a success. Hell yeah, Stella, you did it! What the hell? Yes. Yes, I did. Sense of relief washed over me in waves. Everything I've felt before right now did not compare to the fact that my first experiment was successful. Sinclair is that much closer to coming back home. I figured you'd want to celebrate, Chief, but you look tired as all hell. Like, tired where you look almost as dead as... I mean, I can handle putting everything away here if you want to just go and rest up for the night. Are you mad? I need to keep working. Knowing this experiment worked only energized me more than exhausted. Stella. All at once the room became cold. I hear Teresa complain about the sudden drop, but all I can focus on is the shiver running up my spine from Sinclair's vapor touch on my shoulder. I want to lean into it so badly. Teresa, go home. What? Didn't you hear me just now? I told you to go home and let me... I won't repeat myself. As much energy as I can muster, I glare at Teresa. I'm sure she understood how serious I was being since she left, right after. I'll apologize and thank her for her work, but when she's back next. But for now, I turn to face Sinclair. It doesn't matter how many times she's come to visit me, it always manages to rejuvenate me. Even now, I can feel the fatigue melt away from my soul and the exhaustion seep out of my bones. I wish I could kiss her. My moon, aren't you delighted? What does it matter how I feel? You're still on this. Well, I can't say I'm not impressed. What you did is not easy. Yes, exactly. But I'm still not happy about it either. She disappears as soon as she says it. It's just me and the still silence left in the lab. That's fine. Of course it's fine. She'll come around in the end. She has no other choice after all. I dreamt about you again last night. It was about a date we had at the lake once. It was barely the start of winter, and you were asking me why I brought you out here in the bitter cold. I laughed at that because we both knew how much you hate winter. You should know better, you said, trying to hide a pout. You're so cute when you do that. I remember being really nervous that day. If you can believe it, it felt just as nervous in the dream, too. My hand was in my coat pocket, fidgeting with a tiny wrapped box. You immediately noticed because of course you did. You're the only person who can see right through me. What's that in your pocket? You asked, all hatred for the cold replaced with curiosity. It took me by surprise, but I hope my composure didn't falter. Relatively sure it didn't, at least. I remember my heart beating wildly in my chest. I could practically hear it. The built-up anxiety had melted away any chill I felt. But I was still trembling as I slowly took the box out of my pocket to present it to you. I cleared my throat, trying to shake off the nerves. It only worked a little. Happy birthday, Sinclair. I'll never forget the look on your face. Your eyes grew wide enough to shame the moon itself. Your cheeks bloomed into a lovely blush of red that rivaled any freshly picked rose. Your lips quivered between a smile and your signature smirk. You were at a complete and total loss for words. Felt pretty proud of myself, honestly. I totally forgot, was all you said as you reached for the present. You examined it so carefully, as if you were unsure what to do with it. When you looked back at me, I could only nod. I thought you might, said with a laugh as you opened it. I didn't think your eyes could get any wider until you saw what was inside. Estella, your voice was barely above a whisper. Aside from shock, I couldn't really read anything else on your face. Dread began to overtake me. Did I make a mistake? It reminded me of us, I pushed myself to say. I don't think you know how difficult it was to admit that. I was terrified. Yet when you pulled out the necklace and examined it, it was my turn to be speechless. What? The crystal pendant caught the moonlight and reflected onto your face so beautifully. The silver chain sparkled amazingly against your skin when paired with the midnight glow. With the glittering lake and falling snow as your backdrop, I was entranced by you all over again. I felt reaffirmed by my choice. I remember walking over to you and grabbing the necklace. You held up your hair as I put it on you. When you turned to face me, I couldn't breathe. You were perfect. You are perfect. I take it you like it. I felt my voice crack, but at the moment I didn't care. It didn't matter. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty alright. She laughs, and I can't help but laugh with her. You had entirely forgotten about the cold by then, but I didn't. That's when I woke up. It's almost been a week since the first experiment. I've been busy monitoring Sinclair's body, the newly attached skin, and the next gathering spot. With how things are looking, I'd say we're right on track. Ah, a message. Normally I'd leave it for later, but this ringtone in particular belongs to... Hey, Starshine, I hope you're doing okay. You haven't checked in so long. Please tell me you're okay. Can't help the smile on my face or the sigh that comes out after reading the message. Were it anyone else, I'd delete the message and proceed with my work. However, just like Sinclair, Laura is someone very precious to me. She at least deserves a response. Hello, Laura. I'm fine. Sorry for not checking in sooner. Caught up in lab work. Talk to you soon. Hey, it's Cinden. I'm about to put my phone down when I feel it vibrate in my hand. The same ringtone as before is blaring instead of only playing once, meaning Laura is calling instead of texting. Fine. Yes, Laura. Oh, you answered! Wow, you sound dead. Well, you did catch me in the middle of work. Yeah, sorry. I know you're busy, but I really wanted to check in on you. I was worried. I'm sure, but as you can tell, I'm perfectly fine. You might even say I'm living and breathing. Very funny, Starshine. I guess if you can joke despite sounding like a zombie, I should believe you. Exactly. Okay, but don't go so long without texting me, you got it? Otherwise I'll get Rod to break or knock down your door. I know you've used that threat before, but it still makes me laugh. I'm serious! Oh, I know, but I promise I'll text you again in a few days. Good, love you, Starshine. Love you too. What? Wait a minute. This is nefarious. I finally put my phone down and sigh once more. Laura deserves better than to waste her time constantly worrying about me. She has her own life and her own problems she should focus on. Though I suppose this comes with the territory of having known each other for so long. But I can't let her fuss over me. Let alone risk having her come to the lab and find out what I'm doing. I grab my notebook from my desk and write a reminder to myself to text Laura more. Now back to work. The next item on the list is an arm. Sinclair technically has both of hers, but one of them is, well, it's better to replace it, to say the least. It's too much damage for her right arm to function, even with the synthetic skin replacement I've given her. The tendons are mostly burnt or torn, the humerus is brittle and weak from being in a freezer, and any remaining nerves are likely destroyed. If I tried to fix her arm as is, it'd take months of physical therapy and multiple surgeries to even get some sort of function back in peace. Yes, in the end, it needs to be fully rebuilt. I have a majority of the necessary materials to construct her a new arm, and was initially ready to begin the next phase of the experiment at a moment's notice. However, Teresa... Oh, Teresa. She always means well, I know she does. I do ask her to help with the upkeep and cleaning around the lab, so maybe I should have seen something like this happening eventually. But honestly, how can someone interning at a lab mistake parts for a biosensor as garbage? Those parts were not easy to build, nor were they cheap, either. I don't have the luxury of time to attempt finding identical replacements. I'll have to make them from scratch myself. But even that is a mission in and of itself. Unfortunately, I have no other choice at the moment. If I want to get this done in time without risking the integrity of the skin I so painstakingly acquired, I'll have to scavenge through the scrapyard in town. The wired fence surrounding the scrapyard is standing as tall as ever. In a way, it feels like it's mocking me for its absurd height. I bet under normal circumstances this would probably feel daunting. Maybe even nerve-wracking. However, no mere fence is going to stop me from getting what I require. Stella, are you sure about this? Teresa, on the other hand, might. I told you before, Teresa, there will be no issues getting in. I thought you meant you have like a key or something. Not just outright trespassing. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not? Actually, it is, but I could care less about legality right now. That's something to worry about for later. Besides, it's just a dump holding piles of discarded junk. I would even care if we were here. What matters is being able to find replacement parts for a biosensor. Whether it is or isn't doesn't really matter, Teresa. We wouldn't be doing this if you hadn't thrown out what I needed. Right, sorry about that. What's done is done. Let's move on, shall we? As we approached the side of the fence, I pulled out the pliers that I brought along with me and began cutting at the fence. I heard Teresa gasp as I worked, but I really don't care to explain myself. Honestly, I'm more surprised that she didn't ask about it herself. Once I was satisfied with the cut, I gripped into a part of the fence and pulled on it. It only loosened, so I gave it a few more yanks before it freed itself, allowing an opening for me and Teresa to walk through. Without wasting another second, I walked through and waited for Teresa to follow. She managed to shake off her surprise and follow me. After she passed through, I moved the cut fence back into place as best I could for the time being. That's that. No turning back now. Okay, Teresa, just to be clear, you know what we're looking for, yes? Yes, ma'am. You need a processor, signal units, and a transmitter. Perfect. I'll take the west side of the yard and you'll take the east. Keep your phone on vibrate and contact me should you find anything. Sir, yes, sir! I rolled my eyes at her little cadet routine, but I certainly appreciate the enthusiasm. Although I could do without the march she's performing as she heads east. Whatever works for her, I suppose. Should head west and myself and begin my search as well. Really does feel horrible here, almost as if it were my own cemetery. Or its own cemetery. The amount of discarded robots and the way they've piled on the mounds set a bit of shiver up my spine. I didn't think that exploring my scrapyard at night would feel this disturbing. Hi, Hendrix. What's good? I'm doing okay. Maybe I should have brought a jacket. After circling around for a while, I do manage to find a pile that catches my eye. On the surface are various electrical components all mixed in together. Some are a little tangled up, unfortunately, so the wires might not be usable. It'll take a while to really dig through this, but it's the best shot at finding anything so far. I start shifting through the pile, tossing aside anything that isn't useful. There's plenty of loose cables, a couple of incomplete switches, cut wires here and there, some random diodes. Boy, this place really doesn't have any proper upkeep or organization. I freeze. The only ones that should be here are me and Teresa. The place doesn't have overnight security, and the shift warden shouldn't arrive until early morning. So why did I hear a strange noise? At least I'm almost positive that I heard something. In my view, I don't see anything from the same mounds of scrap I saw before, nor any new shadows around the ground. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe some parts bumped together and I didn't notice. I don't know. I let a minute go by to make sure. Nothing, only the sound of my breathing. I go back to the pile, digging through it once more. This time I stand up, frantically looking around, but still nothing. Teresa, is that you? I whip around towards the source of the sound. Yet again, nothing. What's going on? This time, no response. The yard goes quiet again, except for my breathing. I don't like this. Should go to another spot. When I feel like I'm far enough away, I start eyeing the mounds again. Somewhat difficult to focus, though, now that I'm on an edge from those noises. I'll have to be more careful. I decide to broaden my search pool and pick a pile that with parts that look distinct enough to what I need. Unlike before, I'm more meticulous and slow, trying not to draw attention. My patience is awarded, to say the least. I'm practically shocked when I pull out not one, not two, but 3 potential substitutes for a processor. One processor looks almost intact, but I can definitely spot some surface-level defects here and there. The second processor isn't much to sing home about, but the prongs look sturdy and untouched, which is a good sign. The last processor seems risky, only because I recognize it as a previously recalled model before they were fixed and put back on the market. I wonder if I have enough space in my bag to carry all 3. Be nice to have spares. Oh God, not again. I cautiously turned my head to where I heard the sound, fully expecting nothing. But there is something this time. Dread and fear began to gnaw and spread as I watched some sort of disfigured automaton trudge through the yard. The noises I kept hearing was this thing groaning as it continued to move on. I was not prepared to go up against a dying machine tonight. I'll have to find a way around it and leave immediately. This fucking sucks. Turn back to the processors and bite my lower lip. There's no way I can take all 3 of them without causing a sound. I'll have to settle with just one. And I don't have enough time to properly examine them either. I'll have to trust my gut and hope for the best. Oh. Uh-oh, I gotta pick one. That's crazy. Is that X-Men? That's X-Men. That's like Days of Future Past. I think I want the sturdy one. I grab the processor and as quietly as I can before carefully getting up. I turn to check on the dying machine. It's still circling around certain piles. This is as good a chance as any. Clutching my bag and as tightly as I can, I try walking quickly toward the fence we came in from. Wait. Shit. Teresa. No, it's fine. It's okay. I'll call her once I'm on the other side of the fence, far away from that fucking thing. Definitely shouldn't be able to hear me from all the way up there. It'll be okay. Except my phone starts vibrating. Fuck. I don't need to turn around to know the dying machine is following me because I can hear it. I can hear its rusted, broken metal clanging against each other with each heavy step it takes. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Fuck it, I don't care. Take off on a full sprint to get some distance from that thing. I don't know how fast it can actually go, but I'll take my chances. I just want to get out of here. Estella! Estella! Are you kidding me? Stella, where are you? Hello? Oh, there you are. What the hell is that noise? We're leaving now. Go, go, go! Okay. Despite the terrifying sounds of running metal behind us, Therese and I managed to get our way back to our makeshift entrance. I don't bother to look before grabbing hold of the wired fence, loosing it just as before. I motioned for Therese to exit first before I follow right after her. Put the damn fence back into place and just started running again without thinking. Estella! Let's get the hell out of here! Pretty sure she didn't argue because I only heard her running behind me not too long after. Our walk back to the lab was uneventful in comparison. Neither of us spoke the whole time, be it from exhaustion, nerves, or shock. Does it matter? I don't think either of us really had much to say. I didn't, anyway. I did feel some energy return to me once we got to the lab. Therese and I may have faced something absolutely terrifying. Excuse me. Something that shocked me deep to my core, but we made it back. Back to the lab. Back to Sinclair. I let out a sigh. Teresa, when you're ready, begin the preparations, please. Teresa jumped a little, but she nodded. Guess she wasn't expecting me to speak immediately upon our return. Silly girl. While Teresa walked off to start the prep, I set my bag down and grabbed the processor. We still need the other parts to fully configure the biosensor correctly. I can only hope that Teresa managed to find them on her end. I don't want to delay this any longer, nor do I want to go back to that disturbing place. Gods, I hope she found them. When I walked into the center lab, Teresa had outdone herself. Just before everything was set up, all the tools were lined up, materials readily accessible. But what really caught my eye were some new parts right next to everything. My heart stopped. Could it be? Teresa, did you... Oh, I guess we were in such a rush I forgot to tell you. I think I found a pretty okay transmitter and a couple of signal units. No luck on the processor, though. My throat felt dry as I walked over to the parts, holding each one up with care as I inspected them. They're certainly not new, definitely not 100% perfect, but they're not broken either. They're usable, each and every single one. If I weren't so numb, I'd cry. This will do, Teresa, thank you. For the first time since we left the scrapyard, Teresa smiles. It's good, it means she's shaking off the shock. I need her fully focused for this. I clear my throat and grab my coat. Let's get started, shall we? We're doing a little surgery. Took so long, my fingers ache. My knuckles will likely bruise. Fairly certain I've stopped breathing, too. Did it work? Fair question, yet I can't bring myself to answer. All I can do is stare at the built arm hanging off the mechanical spine. Stella should answer. It attached well. Biosensor appears responsive. Microcontroller's on. Did you want to test the movement? Try to speak, but I pause. I don't know why I'm hesitating. Feel something cold on my shoulders. Against my ear. Faintest hint of a touch, of a voice. Is that supposed to be me? My breath hitches. She doesn't move. I can show her. I can prove to her that this is the right decision. Let's test it. Teresa nods. I grab the microcontroller from the table. Sinclair still doesn't move, but her new arm does. I slowly test different ranges of motion, and the arm complies every time. Even as I attempt more complex motions, the arm complies and shows no signs of stuttering or failure. By all means, this phase is a certified success. Stella, you did it! I let out a small laugh as a smile cracks through. I am in awe. I'm in disbelief. Another success, another step forward. Then the cold sensation on my shoulder snakes around my what? Snakes around my shoulders, around my neck. Almost like a hug. Almost like a reminder. Is she happy? I hate it. Ringing in my ear. It repeats in my head like a curse. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. The cold is gone. She is gone. It's funny, standing here in front of your grave, you and I both know you're not actually buried under here. Tombstone might have your name on it. People leave you all these pretty little flowers, but you're not here. You'll never be here. Stella, hey! Turn to the sound of the voice, see Laura walking over with a small bouquet. It's a lovely selection of white chrysanthemums with a few orchids in the mix. I'll have to take a picture to show you later. I think you'll like it. Hello, Laura. Surprised there's no sunflowers. Ah, very funny. I learned my lesson after last time. You mean when you brought them to a funeral? They mean happiness! You know they mean happiness! I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Flowers are beautiful, Laura. Laura smiles, bright and full of pride, before setting the flowers down next to the grave. Clasps her hands and closes her eyes. For a few minutes, we just stand there in silence. Laura breaks it first. How are you holding up? Horribly. Still hard to sleep, and I feel like time is just passing me by. You know you're free to come stay over with me and Raja whenever. I don't want you to go through this alone. I know. You say that, but I never come over. I never call. I never text. We used to talk every day. Sorry. I don't know. I know you're grieving and probably want space, but I'm worried. I hardly see you anymore. Sorry. Feels like we're hardly friends anymore. Sorry. And I hate to say this, but it feels like you died with Sinclair, too. Laura. So sorry. That was pretty harsh, huh? Sorry, maybe I'm just being a selfish friend. Can't bring myself to speak. No matter how hard I try, the words are caught in my throat. Laura's clearly trying to hold back tears, and yet no matter how much I rack my brain, words keep slipping away from me. Silent treatment. Yeah, that's fair. Well, what I said was pretty awful. No. I'm sorry. You're right, I haven't been much of a friend to you lately. You haven't done anything wrong. I appreciate you coming with me here and for bringing her flowers. You are an amazing friend. Always. I mean it. Gee, Starshine, you really know how to give a girl a scare, huh? Skill of mine, I suppose. Well, unlearn it! The tears from her eyes are gone and she laughs. Good. I hate making Laura upset. Once this is all over and you're back, Sinclair, we should spend more time with her. Just the three of us. Just like old times. One of the things I love most about you were your eyes. I don't think I told you enough. I promise to tell you every day from now on. I promise. I looked meticulously for days to find eyes as beautiful as yours. I found blue eyes that could rival the sky above us, hazel eyes that I know must have flickered as brilliantly as the stars, green eyes that reminded me of vibrant leaves in the summer, eyes that must have spent countless hours staring at their own loved ones. But they're not yours. Did you know it's very hard to find something even close? To find eyes so light they sparkled like glittering silver under any light? Eyes with the same visage and gravity as the moon, drawing me in? Eyes that were reserved for me and me alone. How could I ever find something like that again? If I want to get this done, I should just find whatever the eyes that are healthy, compatible with my equipment, and won't be rejected by your body. Suitable transplant. A usable template. But I feel sick to my stomach at the thought of settling. My skin itches at the notion that you could look at me with a stranger's eye and tinker with the prosthetic to my heart's whim and mold it to be as close to your eyes as I possibly can, but The foundation isn't yours. I couldn't stop myself. When I realized that none of these eyes could ever be yours, I went mad. Like a feral beast, I went to each and every corpse, plunging my scalpel right down to the iris. I split. I cut. I diced. I carved one by one to the next and to the next. None of them bled. Not a single one. They were hardly damp to begin with. Maybe that made me madder. I don't know. I just kept going until there were no more eyes left. Perhaps it's a good thing that morgues keep their corpses under eyes closed. It'll be a shock for anyone to discover such desecration. I'm sorry, my moon. It was in a fit of despair. I truly can't explain it. Please forgive me. The morgue was a complete failure. I was hoping to avoid building her an eye entirely from scratch, but my perfectionism demands it. It reminds me of myself. Hi, Yuki! Welcome in, Raiders! My name is Chizu Coyote. I'm your student council president. We get a shout-out, mods? I think the shout-out thing still works. How are we doing? What were you up to today? We're reading some visual novels for the Spooktober Visual Novel Jam today. If creepy stories are up your alley, and I think you're gonna enjoy this. The next one's less scary though. The next one's a little bit more fun and campy. I think my shout-out command's broken. Oh well. Y'all don't know who Yuki is. Yuki is a wonderful friend of mine. You should definitely check her out. She's a fox, ghostly fox, shrine fox. I'm sorry. I haven't had to do one of these in a while. Usually I just have the thing do it for me. Anyway, welcome in. When I return to the lab, I'm shocked to find Teresa already there. Did I ask her to come in today? I was certain her next day it would be in a few days for the heart valve. Oh, sorry to scare you, boss, but surprise. Surprise indeed. She doesn't offer an explanation as we enter the lab. She's nervous, fidgeting with her hands, the telltale signs of overthinking scrawled all over her face. I sigh. Very well, I'll bite. Something on your mind, Teresa? Well, actually, after the incident at the scrapyard, I've been really worried. Well, you see, while organizing your desk, I came across your journal and... My journal? I promised I wasn't snooping. I just happened to see that you were going to the morgue today for materials, and I thought I'd drop by. Good God. Have I really been so careless? Thank you for your concern, Teresa. Unfortunately, the morgue proved fruitless. Considering where to go from here, I'm running out of options. Options? Yes, I didn't find any suitable replacements for an eye, so I'm trying to think of an alternate solution. After I say it, Teresa's expression changes as if a bolt of lightning ran right through her. Wait, Estella! I do have an idea. You do? Yes, it might not be perfect, but why not use a glass eye? If Sinclair's other eye is good, then a glass eye will do just fine. I look at Teresa, letting the words sink in. It's not the worst idea. In fact, it's a very reasonable suggestion. Plus, it'll give me time to start working on her new heart. No, I want to build one. Thank you for the suggestion, Teresa, but I think I'll still build an eye for her. She deserves nothing but the best. You understand? Of course, boss. Would you like me to fetch your materials in? It's gonna be an all-nighter, unfortunately. Good thing I'm here then, huh? I nod, half distracted by my thoughts as she walks off to grab everything. This will certainly cut into my time for her heart, but I know it's the right decision. Sinclair had 2 beautiful eyes before her death. She deserves to have them again upon her rebirth. All you're missing is a heart. That's it. The paltry mass of muscle and tissue to allow life to flow through you once more. Easier said than done, isn't it? Thought about this for a long time. How to implant your heart. Would it be better for you to have a new human heart, or would an electrical heart chamber suit your new body best? Should the blood flow organically, or should it filter mechanically? There be stitches to heal. There be glass case to shield. I always wondered if you had a preference yourself, though I already know the answer. Don't worry, Sinclair. Whichever way, it'll be the most beautiful heart anyone has ever seen, I promise. Why else would I come back to the facility otherwise? Surprised that the only change in their security was adding a guard at the door to the skin samples. Were it up to me, I would have considered adding more around the building myself. After all, I still managed to get in. I'm not as nervous as I was a couple weeks ago. A sense of calmness has tempered the last of the anxiety within me as I walk through fluorescent-tinted halls. I wonder what my life would have been like if I had passed that interview. Maybe I would have been working on those skin samples, or perhaps on an automatic nervous system. Or maybe I would have worked on the manufactured synthetic hearts that are stored behind this door. Those very same hearts that are the final key to your puzzle, my moon. Wouldn't that have been funny? Oh well, let's get this over with. Another storage room filled with shelves and workstations. The layout is very similar to the skin samples room. It all works rather well in my favor with how familiar it is. I use the stolen badge once again to get into the system. The system boots up and gives me quick access to the facility's records. Everything is meticulously organized and filled with extensive notes, such as the skin samples. If only I could take my time in choosing, but this is far more complex than picking out skin. A heart is more delicate, more specialized. Be it fully synthetic or mixed tissue, it's still just as particular about its host and its blood as Laura is as picky about her vegetables. I laughed to myself at the comparison, a joke to share with Sinclair later. I'm not sure how much time passes as I read through file after file. I checked my watch. It's been about 20 minutes. Shit, I lost track of time. The next guard swap is in 15. I need to move quickly. Of all the samples I saw, there were 3 that stood out to me the most. Sample 1 is synthetic heart mixed with animal tissue and electronic sensors. Artificial valves are functional but temporary. Needs constant upkeep and monthly valve replacements. Success rate moderate. Sample 2, biocompatible silicone with compressed air cylinders in place of valves. High battery usage detective but sustainable. Beware overcharging. Annual replacements necessary. Success rate moderate. Sample 3, levitated impeller, single valve, battery operated. Little to no pulsating detected sensation can be replicated by increasing speed of the impeller. Success rate unknown. Prototype. Initial reports are promising. Any of these should do, I'm sure. Uh-oh! Should we go with the prototype? Should we go with the prototype? Yodi Pack, are we going with the prototype? I don't know. I'm gonna go with the third sample. It's only a matter of finding the sample on the designated shelf. I find it more challenging to locate the sample this time around. Compared to the skin samples, the volume of samples here packed them all tight, making it harder to read. Thankfully, I do manage to find what I'm looking for. Is that a Mega Man reference? You're making a Mega Man reference. I look back at my watch. 5 more minutes until the guards change. Tight, but I'll manage. No other choice after all. Wish me luck, Sinclair. We're in the home stretch now. There's so many stars out right now. Ugh. There's so many stars out right now, Sinclair. There's even a full moon tonight. Can you believe it? Your rebirth is going to be bathed in that soft glow, surrounded by millions of twinkling stars. A miracle born from our love. I'm so anxious. I can hardly control my trembling hands as Therese and I gather everything. We're so close, so ridiculously close. Will you forgive me? Will you stay by my side? Will you live for me? Stella, I think this is it. Look over everything in the room. I have to make sure it's all here. Nothing's missing. No chance for errors. The replacement eye, her new heart, the mechanical spine, her brain, her body. I walk over to it, going down on one knee. She's uncovered only a still, half-frozen corpse on the table. I reach for her hand and cautiously stroke the back of it with my thumb. He's so cold. Unbelievably cold and still and dead. Sinclair, you were unjustly taken from this world, from me. You said you'd prefer if I move on, but I hope this act of desperate love will prove to you that I am nothing without you. You are my very reason for being. Soon we will be able to gaze upon the stars every night and bathe in the moon's light together. We will never be apart again. I promise. I let her hand go and stand up. The world is our galaxy and us its celestial bodies. All will one day die and crumble to nothing, even the stars themselves, but the moon has ever stayed unwavering, free from death's grasp. So you will too. Teresa, let's begin. Our first hurdle is the eye. I worked tirelessly to perfect this prosthetic for Sinclair. I don't know how I managed it, but the iris inside is nearly identical. Maybe not a window to her soul, but it feels like the real thing. Wow, Stella, that's really something else. Thank you, Teresa. My only regret was not having enough time to add more features. I better tweak the internal aperture, but it will suffice. I can always revisit it later with more time. She'll love it, Boz! Gods, I hope so. Not wasting another second, I cradle her head carefully to install her new eye. With the eye now in place, we proceed to the heart. I reach out my hand, palm up. Teresa, the heart, please. I see Teresa nod from the corner of my eye as she retrieves the sample I stole, preparing the chest cavity when Teresa passes me Sinclair's new heart. I hold it gingerly in my hands, feeling the weight of life's potential in it. I wonder how different Sinclair's heart will sound with this in its place. I used to listen to the drumming of her pulse when I couldn't sleep, etching it deep into my soul. In the end, it may not beat the same, but it will beat nonetheless. That's enough for me. My own heart drumming away, I proceed to install Sinclair's new heart. Exhaustion sinks down to my very core. My joints feel stiff, my shoulders tight, and my neck has a terrible cramp. Every part of my body is screaming for rest. Soon, I will grant it its wish. Soon, I will be able to rest. Because at last, we have arrived at the brain. As I stare at the jar housing Sinclair's brain, a smile creeps onto my face. Oh, how I've longed for this moment. I've kept your marvelous brain safe all this time, Sinclair. The very essence of your being. You wouldn't be you without it. We've waited long enough, don't you think? I carefully pull her brain out of the jar and begin the last of my greatest work. My moon. It's time to rise from your slumber. With everything in place, I turn on Sinclair's heart. All at once, I can see the blood pumping and flowing from within her heart's chamber. I immediately turn my attention to the vitals on the monitor across from me. The numbers keep fluctuating as I hear the first few beeps from the EKG. 1 beep. 1 beep. 2. Teresa, now! On my command, Teresa flips a switch on the console beside her. Currents of electricity begin to course through Sinclair. I switch my attention between her, the vitals, the EKG. Beep, beep, beep. She's almost there. Don't stop. Her vitals are starting to stabilize. Brainwave patterns are becoming more frequent. What's taking so long? Stella. 2 beeps. 2 more beeps. Again. 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 Stable. Consistent. Alive. Cut the power! Teresa shuts down the console as I fly to Sinclair's side. The EKG still beeping steadily, all readings perfect. Should only be a matter of time. I grab one of her hands, holding it tight. It's warm. Fucking hells, it's warm and her heart is beating and... I hear it. The shuddering intake of a breath. Her chest rises and it falls. Then a groan, a shift in movement, another breath. My gaze shifts to her face and the sight leaves me stunned. She's staring right at me. Stella? I let her hand go and swoop her into an embrace. I hear a gasp and the EKG spikes for a moment, but I ignore it. Because right now in my arms, warm and breathing, is alive, is my Sinclair. Oh fuck, it worked! It did! It really did! I managed to tear myself away from our embrace to get a proper look at Sinclair. She's staring back, alert and confused, but alive. Alive, alive, alive! I place a hand over her chest where I installed her heart. A faint drumming is there, steady and consistent. Can't help the laugh that comes out. You're really back! A sudden motion of her arm as it swings out and then stops mere inches from my face. She looks more shocked than I do. A smile creeps onto my face. What's the matter, my darling moon? Why did my arm stop? You're so cute when you're mad. Sinclair's expression shifts into something akin to horror as I giggle. I was going to explain it later, but I suppose that there's no better time than the present. You were just so resistant to being brought back. I chose to install some, safety measures. Nothing to worry about. Sinclair's eyes grow wide. I reach out and grab a strand of her hair, playing with it in my hands. She doesn't stop me. Stella? What does that mean? My smile grows wider. I made sure that you can never, ever leave me again. This time we really will be together forever. The horror on her face intensifies as I yank her closer towards me, with the hair still in my hand. I caress her face with my free hand staring deeply into her eyes. What a swirl of emotions in them. Fear, confusion, disgust, how unusually expressive. Teresa, I think it's time for you to go home. Thank you for your hard work today. Okay, boss. I'll see you later. Sinclair and I don't move nor make a sound as we hear Teresa's footsteps. I'm so hypnotized by Sinclair, I don't realize that Teresa's already out the door until Sinclair grabs my shoulders and pins me to the ground. Excited already. I can't believe you! You were never like this! Does it matter? What's gotten into you? You. I hear her breathing hitch as I laugh again, reaching back up to her face. She flinches, but that doesn't stop me. Nothing will, because you're mine. Stella, undo the... A garbled noise comes out of her. She's practically panting, shocked. What was that? I didn't quite catch that. She glares at me and it makes my heart jump. Turn off my hop! Another stop, another strangled sound. My laugh becomes more manic, her breathing heavy. I keep caressing her face. Shh, my moon. No need to trouble yourself with such thoughts. Safety measures? Estella, what did you do to me? Taking advantage of her confusion, I grab her shoulders and flip our positions. Now I'm pinning her, unable to stop my laughter. Don't you see? Don't you get it? I had to make sure you'd never leave me again. I added certain measures to stop you if you'd try. What? I did this for us, you know? We'll never be apart, Sinclair. Never again. She pushes me off of her and gets up. She's still panting, still glaring, but still so alive. Oh, how my heart swells. Get away from me! This isn't good for you! You have to let me go! She falls to her knees, trembling and coughing. I get up and walk over to her, looming over her. You should get some rest, Sinclair. We have the rest of our lives to look forward to. Isn't that wonderful? Fuck you! I kneel down before her. She's angry, furious even. But that's all right. I know she'll forgive me one day. She'll have no choice. Ah, I almost forgot. I unclasp the necklace I've been wearing in your place. I hold it out to you, but you don't move, your glare unchanging. That's okay. I'll help you put it on. Just like before. She's still trembling as I pull her hair aside. My fingers graze along the side of her neck and I feel her shiver. So cute. I knew she missed my touch. I clasp the necklace back onto her and fix her hair back to how it was. I smile. Perfect. Can't believe you. It's all right, Sinclair. You don't have to. All you have to do is be with me, okay? Fuck off! I stand back up and take a step back. A sliver of moonlight steps into the lab, bathing Sinclair in its glow. Beautiful, divine, ethereal, mine. Good night, Sinclair. I love you. When I turn to leave, all I hear is Sinclair screaming. The end. I really like that one. That's so messed up. That's so messed up. And I like media that's messed up. And that one was messed up. Do you guys like messed up stuff? I enjoyed that one. And I hope you did too. I hope you did too. Did it? My bad. I didn't mean to give you a fright, Stella. I hope you don't have not yandere nightmares of Chizu whispering your name. Or maybe I do. Just kidding. All right. I'm gonna play another one and I'm gonna do funny voices. We're gonna do fun. This one's not creepy. This one's not creepy. This one's fun and cute. And it's an otome. Cute boys! Are you guys ready to see some cute boys? Who's ready to see some cute boys? Sorry, the time. I think this might be the last one I do. But that last one was called We Belong Dead. This one, though, is called Don't Eat the Cashier. I pressed the wrong button. You ever just press the wrong button? Let me press this button. I'll play this one. I mean, I'm gonna try to give these boys some funny voices. Cute voices, who knows? We'll see what happens when I get there. I'm gonna pick... You think I'm gonna... You don't know. You don't know? You don't know anything. Shh, nobody knows about these boys. But you're gonna know about these boys. Aw, come on. You can look at the cute boys. Just because they're cute girls. We just had, like, extremely toxic doomed Yuri. Now let's have some, you know. Let's look at some boys, okay? It's fine. It's not a manga isekai. You just wait. Sometimes I really wonder, how did I end up here? Not that I dreamed of a career as a neurosurgeon or an astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station? On the other hand, money is money. I sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree in art. 0 responses. I had to swallow my pride and find at least something. I found this note stuck to the glass of a bus stop. Human organism wanted for work at gas station. Organism's duties include selling food for mouth, silence and obedience, household tasks, obeying those who are more ancient, friendly team offers, new and old faces of friends, long and different life, consumption of nourishment, juicy juices, trips to human places. Apparently the manager is just an eccentric dude, or is this their new marketing tactic to grab attention? Whatever people often told me that I have my quirks too. And that's even if haven't seen my fursuit. The MC's a furry! Well, whatever. As long as he's not a complete jerk who'll hit on me or make me scrub the floors with a toothbrush. I didn't scream. I couldn't move. My brain feverishly tried to find any category for this in its database. Hallucination? Psychosis? Too many energy drinks? A typical mental manager? The monster from my nightmare stirred. Its tentacles crept closer to the counter. My God. The creature made a sound, not from a mouth that had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk, hollow, profound, bone-shaking. Greetings, organism. I am Bob, the indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds. But you, grain of sand, may call me Manager Bob. No, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. You will sell food for mouths and obey me, for I am ancient. Memorize the rules of this establishment, for my patience is as limited as the salary I offer you. Rule number 1, you sell no matter what. Chicken food for mouth, gremlin fuel, noodles made from cursed souls, lottery tickets for extra limb raffles, discount rot, ritual foil, everything must be sold. He points directly at me with that creepy, slimy tentacle. Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. Oh, well, hello, Felipe. An empty hello. Welcome in. I pinched myself, but I didn't wake up. Rule number 2, be polite to customers, ignore bald spots in werewolf fur, and watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What? But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency, and they should only pay in monetary units. Payment in existential dread or hair of the dead is not accepted. Many of them come here just to chat because they are idle and purposeless organisms. Your task is to make them part with their currency anyway. It is also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they can't give away currency. Excuse me, dear sir. You seem to have mentioned werewolves and ectoplasm. My voice is as polite as possible. I managed to compress my primal, screaming panic into a tight ball and shove it deep down. Werewolves? And that's not to mention that you yourself are a giant meatball with tentacles. Damn you. I shall answer your question, curious, polite organism. Werewolves and ectoplasmic entities are just a few examples of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are all slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your financial future prosperity. I'm at a gas station for monsters. I got a job with Cthulhu for minimum wage. This is all you need to know. That really is all I need to know. I fear any more knowledge will surely drive me insane. For the first time, something resembling approval flickered across Bob's mini-eyed face. A rare and unexpected display of the grains of wisdom that have not yet left the human species. Embrace your ignorance. Let it become your shield and a direct path to the status of Human Employee of the Month. Do I have to work here for a whole month? Your contract specifies an indefinite term of service. Read your contract. Always read your contracts, guys. It will be terminated upon my return to the cosmic hierarchy or your unexpected dematerialization. I strongly advise against both. Instead, it is recommended to exist and enjoy processes such as pressing buttons, standing, staring at the cash register, Observing old and new customer faces, linguistic communications, trips to restrooms, and many other exciting human things. Suddenly places a jar in front of me on the counter. And the last rule, remember organism, this tip container must be filled with money by the end of your wake cycle. If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary rooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,510 years! I couldn't take my eyes off the fork, the potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, my mind fully capitulated. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I'm being threatened with a fork and eternal toilet cleaning. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? The same will happen if you even think of escaping before the end of your work contract. My ocular sensorium perceives the subtlest of matters. It will detect you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere. Crap, I'm stuck here. I'm in a trap. Do you understand, organism? Yes, sir. Acceptable! Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing. Yep, I can handle this perfectly. Adequate! Your willingness to fulfill your work duties deserves my emotional approval. Human entity Diana, you are acceptable! If you expect a monetary reward instead of an emotional one, you need to immediately reconsider your moral compass. Greed is a highly condemned trait for a human organism. This concludes the briefing. Remain as polite an organism as you are. He didn't turn around as a human would. His tentacles simply shifted his entire mass in another direction with a soft gurgling sound, and he waddled across the linoleum. I'm glad you like Bob's voice. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of refrigerators containing juicy juices and the buzzing of the neon lamp above my head. There may be. There was a part where you said a thing and there was a heart on the text that leads me to believe you could totally date the manager if you wanted to. It would be legit kind of funny. I stood in the same spot as if rooted to the ground. My breath returned to me in a sharp, uneven gasp. My hands were shaking. The tip jar, which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horror, still stood proudly on the counter. Okay, so what just happened? Option 1, I've gone insane. That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, a disruptive sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yep, that's it. I'm going to wake up on my couch in my dingy rented apartment. I pinched myself again, and nothing. I scanned the room once more. It smelled of gasoline and old coffee. It was still absurdly real. And that meant everything he said was all true. Werewolves, vampires, tips, the fork. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled up in my throat, but I held it back. I needed to get through this. I needed to. Oh no. Don't tell me that's the first customer. Bells? What the hell? Shit! Where the hell did this clown come from? It took great effort not to look away from those red eyes burning in the pitch black darkness. Is he amused? Is he wondering if I'm tasty? Bob didn't exactly give any guarantees that I wouldn't get devoured at work. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, was frantically trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. How about... You can't just appear with the sound of a creepy piano, sir. Ah, my deepest apologies. I didn't mean to frighten you, my fair lady. You're right. There was far too much drama in that entrance. What would you prefer my next appearance? Triumphant fanfare in a cheering crowd? Or perhaps just enough accompaniment to voices in your own head? Tell me. Have you tried using the door? That thing. Oh yeah, doors. And hinges. And thresholds. Square things. So incredibly mundane. Where's the pizzazz? An interesting shaped doorway. This establishment, I feel, belongs to an incredibly powerful cosmic entity. And all I can do come up with a mundane earthy interior? I have no desire to walk through an arch that isn't even have carved finials. Seems my boss will carve a finial out of me if I don't sell at least a can of soda to the Mad Hatter. My God, another crazy person with a strange way of speaking. And it seems he's in the mood for a chat. So, what is a beautiful lady like you doing in such a dreadful, dirty island of misfortune? Or rather, what is a place like this doing with such a beautiful lady as you? Oh wait, where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of a lovely lady. Nicest I've heard is the Mad King. A title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. However, my mortal mother named me Darren. How may I have your hand? I'll do it. Let's offer the hand. He suddenly bows his head and presses his lips to my knuckles. Meeting you is truly a pleasure. His lips are cold, yet a ghostly warmth spreads across my skin. So here I am dealing with a real gentleman, oh, how lovely. Or a king, as he calls himself. Of all the kings and emperors locked in their soft chambers, this one has probably found a way to escape. May I know your name? I don't immediately realize he's asking me a question, still in a daze from that gentlemanly kiss. My name is Diana, sir. Ah, my dear, Diana, you are so polite. He seems to savor my name. It sends shivers down my spine. And that politeness again, as dry and bland as the rations I give my soldiers. The most creaky of all the decrees I've signed. And I've signed decrees that require people to weave ropes from sand just for fun, mostly mine. Polite people never risk anything. No friends, no enemies. How's that interesting? Imagine how wonderful it would be if we became enemies. Those would be the most interesting few seconds of your life. Or friends. Then it would be a delightful eternity. Or lovers. Honestly, I'm ready to become anything for tips. Ah, pragmatism, the dullest of all human traits, second only to complete paralysis. But it's so reckless to say such things to someone who can really turn you into anything. For example, a dancing sausage with 100 little legs, or 10 leprechauns in a trench coat, bound by a terrible secret. Or the world's largest bacterium, or a kettle that can boil everything except water. I smile nervously, trying not to show the horror that's gripped me. There's probably no sales course that covers how to deal with such clients. I feel like I'm sitting on a barrel of TNT. I feel like my brain is turning to jelly. Actually, that's not all that bad. Maybe I've just been spoiled by all those mangas about sinister and tragic monsters. Though the only tragic thing about this client so far is his tragic unwillingness to buy my discount rot. So, let's finally get to the purpose of my visit. Finally. It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud. There's nothing interesting in the assortment of the pathetic shack except for you, so I'm buying your time. Let's have dinner. I'm sure you must be hungry. Oh no. Allow me to, create a more pleasant atmosphere for us. I'm shivering from a gust of icy wind. You just teleported half of my gas station to a radioactive dump. Or a radioactive dump to my gas station. And the jar! The jar's gone! My freaking jar! Ah! Put it back the way it was! And the jar! You really don't like change, do you? But life is ever-changing. Life is not a stone, my dear. Life is water. But since you don't like this current, so be it. Let me find us something less populated with mutants. I can't go long without familiar landscapes. Already ruined lands make me melancholic because all the fun has happened without me. Disgusting. Allow me. This is something seemingly less radioactive. Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet. Feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat. Seems like I'm sitting at a table. Much better, wouldn't you agree? Couldn't be better. It's beautiful here and strange. Is this your home? Words of a true poet, Diana. My two favorite categories, strange and beautiful. This place is much more than a home. It's my cage and my greatest canvas for creativity. Every ugly tree, every mad toad, every bearing mushroom, every eye-bearing mushroom, excuse me. It's all a piece of me. A marvelous place, except when the rocks grow legs and start running. Hey, so it's like, Haseki no Kuni then. Including those people that make their homes out of. And now you're part of this place too. Isn't it wonderful? I'm slowly getting used to the landscape. The fireflies here are quite charming. But it'd be better without the frog with a human face. The frog notices me too. Look at the frog! Lets out a sad croak and then looks at me with the expression of deep existential despair. I point at the frog with a human face and say, "Who's that?" "Ah, that's Lori! One of the brave souls who dared to challenge my authority. My dear friend who once walked the path of adventure. However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with his tiny froggy legs. Fought to the end, what a true warrior. Now, I suppose of mosquitoes and bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, does he bother you? His little existential froggy crisis, I mean. Is it ruining our ambiance?" He looks at me with an interested expression. "Yes, please disintegrate him. A lady's wish is my command. An exquisitely straightforward solution to a little warty problem. Say bye-bye, Lorraine. Or don't. No one understands your croaking anyway." Fuck! I'm sorry. That sound. Amazing. Amazing. All right, anyway. So, dinner. I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between realities must be exhausting. This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey. And next to the meat, a purple soup, possibly made from a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poison or not, if I refuse, His Highness might turn me into a frog too, so I pick up a fork from the table. And this is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's 100 times better than these cheap instant noodles I usually buy in supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't even harm my appetite. Seems you enjoy our cuisine. My chefs have always managed to cook well on those occasions when I noticed it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner, at least not for the first half hour after the meal. This is the best purple goo in my miserable life as a miserable cashier. Purple goo! Ha! I'll have to tell the head chef you called it that. He calls it broth of vicious stars and deceit, but I think your description is more honest. And don't be too quick to call your life miserable. Till now, it was just a prologue. But now, the first act begins. Poke at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. A silence hangs between us that might even be called cozy, were I under heavy narcotics. What's your favorite animal? Glad you asked. It's right here on our plate. Ha! Just kidding. But I do need some time to think. Let's see, riding flea has its own charms. Very disgusting ones. Carnivorous butterflies are beautiful, but they are dumb and noisy. And as we know, only what's empty inside makes a noise, or what's in my head, it's always ringing. I think it's a dog. It loves its owner with all its heart. Whether they're a saint or a serial killer, it doesn't notice the difference. It lives in a constant joyful state of blissful ignorance and misplaced enthusiasm. A creature that finds endless joy in the utterly meaningless. It's truly inspiring. Dogs are the jesters of the animal world, and I adore them for it. Especially the small, wrinkly ones. What about you? Cats, huh? Oh, indeed, they are the true rulers of this reality. Tiny, furry gods of apathy and disdain. And we are their obedient, foolish caretakers. But I've been lucky enough to escape their tyranny and instead enjoy my own and feed those around me. I return to my meal, and just as I chew another bite, I hear His Highness's voice. By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough? My fork freezes halfway. Not as tasty as the one I had the day before yesterday, chew while looking him in the eye. You're the law here. I meet his gaze slowly and with all authority, place a piece of meat in my mouth and begin to chew without breaking eye contact. Can't remember ever seeing someone so shocked in my life. His mad grin vanishes, his eyes widen, and his own fork freezes halfway to his mouth. For one precious, glorious, sweet moment, the Lord of Chaos is completely and utterly baffled. My dear, you are a true treasure. You didn't just call my bluff, you raised the stakes to the sky! No, it's certainly not human. It's just venison. As far as I can tell by taste, not very intelligent. Definitely not Timmy, our carpenter, who unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron perfectly sized to fit in it. Definitely not. I've personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning its prohibition, but that's besides the point. I rarely have visitors. And I'd like to tell you about the other interesting guests, after all. It's the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the gnarled trees, rising up from the ground like black ink and spread across the wall. Dancing and intertwining, they prepare to perform at their master's whim. Behold, this incredibly crooked castle, my dear. Crooked to the point of absurdity, sadly. In reality, its curves look far more aesthetic, but give the creator some leeway for expressiveness.
That's a good time to buy in bulk.
Thank you for the 5 gift subs, Frog. Oh, really appreciate it. Make sure you're taking care of yourself too, though. Many brave and not so bright souls have tried to conquer this terrifying, dark, eerie, crooked castle. So many that it became even more crooked. You see, the dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its important duties. Terribly important duties, like having long, deep conversations with its own reflection or concocting recipes with raisins. The monster was a tyrant, a menace. He sowed chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons and others that they were grains. He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away, and he demanded they seal the gaps in the doors as well. He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory and promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water. But behold, a ray of light in the Dark Kingdom, the first hero, Sir Lorey the Righteous in all his clanging self-important glory. He took a need to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for health of his poor back. Following rumors spread by the same monster, he fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects, so, by the way, where did he even find them? Most of the subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders for the suspenders are limited in their fate. I cherish them in their imperfection. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were probably the most relentless of them, or restless of them. Every story needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair. The Grotto of Tentacles? Imagine the most sinister name you can conjure. The Grotto of Kidney Stones. The Grotto of my parents' disappointment in me. Oh, but if they could see you now, you're a royal audience. They would be proud of you. No, actually, they probably wouldn't be proud of you. They got to know me better, but in that case, it's good to do. You won't be alone under the weight of their disappointment, but let's not get sidetracked into the grotto of your parents' disappointment, and you, our hero, descended to retrieve an artifact capable of defeating the Monster King. The Ring of Incredible Power. A bit shoddily crafted, but I assure you it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440 pounds weight. That was its only magical property. The only incredible thing about this ring was its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he had spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight and the sudden crushing thought that he should have become a baker instead of a hero just got some sleep. Well, it broke his poor noble mind. Not that his mind was ever intended for serious burden. Yeah, to hell with you, knight. Ah, a bit of gloating. A touch of delightful deserved cynicism. Oh, splendid. How wonderful that we shared this dish together. So, the knight perished. But then along came ᴠɪᴅᴇᴏ. They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. On the third day of his captivity, he noticed that this prison cell was lacking the fourth wall. An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot. Constantly. During breakfast, while bathing, at balls, during sleep. Even while I was devising a plan to get rid of him. The audacity! I hate just killing him. Turning them into madmen is much more fun. And I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well, made it so that every time he drew his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody to his ears. Elmer was a terrible racist. He hated dwarves, so naturally the melody became the national anthem of the dwarves, played in a loop by a bagpipe orchestra. Pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he's doing the Shinji pose. He's doing the Shinji pose in the chair. That's fun. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job at my court in exchange for changing the song to anything else. He was desperate, and I was a villain. Everything aligned perfect at will. Now he's my royal huntsman. The dwarf marched to replace with a lively elven sea shanty, and let no one dare accuse me of being a callous and heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, clothing, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment. A happy ending, right? For me, absolutely. I've never had such a good hunt in my life. I never quite figured out where he gets all those species of animals, but no matter. And finally, the witch in a classic giant hat under which you could easily fit another witch. She tried a different approach, seduction. She attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, to become my spouse. A fatal miscalculation. She didn't consider the fact that I never trusted big hats or people, especially when both come in hand. And those who wear suspenders and a belt at the same time. A person who doesn't even trust their own pants certainly doesn't even trust of His Highness. Then again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself. Especially the left side of my brain, especially on Thursdays. Back to hats. Ah! You are my kindred spirit! Those hats are so pretentious, self-assured. They block the view, get it stuck in doorways, and always hint that the wearer is compensating for something. Usually lack a magical talent, or pitiful personality, and that's on a good day. You, my dear Diana, have impeccable taste in headwear and consequently in everything else. It's a scientifically proven fact. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, jingling with all her concealed weapons. Why does a witch need so many blades? She must have been very bad at witchery. In any case, she now resides in my dungeon. And you see, I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Thank you for the hydration. Her fate is a blank slate, a story yet to be written, so I offer you the pen. I simply adore random choices. Give me yours, Diana. What punishment befits her? What? Does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? And does it matter what I choose? Everything here follows his whims anyway, but as long as I play the circus monkey, I have a chance to get out of here alive. Maybe I should just entertain... Damn, what should I do? Turn her into a hat. A small one. The one who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat! The irony is so absurd, it's beautiful. So be it, let it be a small cap of eternal regret. She tried to get into my head, and now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence. Indeed, it was a delightful story. I've hundreds more. Of course, but these were the first that came to hand. The shadows finally dissolved into nothingness. I just turned a living being into a hat. Or rather became the catalyst for it. I wonder what kind of nightmares are warranted in such a case. I'm afraid royal duties await me. Our time is up. I shall send you back, Diana. I rise from the chair. I squeeze my eyes shut. The light is blinding even with my eyes closed, so unusual after all this darkness. The jar is full of money. It was all worth it. Greetings, organism. How is your work progressing? I see the first transaction was successful. Acceptable! This still doesn't save you from the threat of cleaning sanitary facilities, but it's a wonderful starting point for your entire tiny life. The very first client sent me to another dimension and nearly turned me into a cash register! Interdimensional travel is an unconventional interaction with a client. But if positively affects the profit per minute ratio, then it is within acceptable limits. Especially if the client paid for the attempted transmutation or its consequences. Continue working! I am experiencing a positive emotional reaction. I am proud of you, and I will be even prouder if you acquire even more currency. Goodbye, Mr. Manager. Your tentacles shine particularly beautiful at this time of day. Your comment regarding the shine of my appendages is noted, organism. The secret is a meticulous regime of polishing and avoid bulk slime. Goodbye! He slaps across the floor to his office. Forget about it! That's funny. As soon as Bob's rhythmic, wet slaps fade away, a deep silence descends upon the station. One moment I'm in a surreal forest, dining on purple goo with a mad god. The next moment I'm being praised by a multi-eyed tentacle monster. Maybe these are all just my deathbed hallucinations. I'm going insane. Some part of me enjoys these mad adventures. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Disgusting. Now I have to deal with that too. In the midst of my contemplation, terrifying sounds emanate from my boss's office. Unfair bills! Unacceptably large numbers! Of course, what else could upset him so much if not that? Steps. Another visitor. This one decided to come in through the door for a change. He seems unwell. I hope that he doesn't knock over my shelves of shampoo with jojoba oil and delicate lilies on his way. Hold on, I gotta get something ready because this is gonna be really funny. He's not just unwell, he looks like hell. Literally, all the skin on the left side is torn off from his jaw to his temple. I swallow nervously. What kind of meat grinder has this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. I need to be careful if I don't want to become the next victim. You look like the Terminator at the end of the second movie, buddy. The Terminator just wrecked my entire floor. Give him a thumbs up. I like this one. Well, it's hard to imagine how the other fighter looks like. If you liked like that, I'd hate to see the other guy. He lets out a gurgling, raspy laugh. You don't want to know what the other fighter looks like. Honestly, I really don't want to know. My inner archive labeled I don't want to know this is at risk of bursting from an overflow tonight. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty, which is probably not surprising for a man without half a face. He clears his throat, but that doesn't help much. I need blood. Tried to smile. It would be charming if he had still had all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my nightmares, among other things. Client pauses again briefly to clear his throat. Let me see what we have. Yeah, good choice. Good choice, babe. Step to the storage. Just in case. Suddenly leans forward, boring into me with his remaining eye. Go and find me some goddamn blood. Okay, I'll do it. Strange pressure builds in my head and the edges of my vision blur. An unyielding command blossoms in the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood right now. My client is covered in blood, but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something inedible. Or is it his own? I found myself in a storeroom, a tangled labyrinth of shelves reaching up to the ceiling, stuffed with boxes, crates, and mysterious cans. In the corner, something rustled and sorted Snorted suspiciously. So where could the blood be? I need to think fast. He's not gonna wait forever. Right now I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Bob, where's the blood? For a moment, silence hangs, broken only by the hum of distant refrigerators. Then comes the sound of pure cosmic irritation. In your blood vessels, organism! But if you mean blood for sale, then check the mouth food section. Don't disturb me, I'm busy doing business! Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Let's go. Food for mouth. These signs are driving me crazy. I really hope my manager will eventually learn English properly. I'm surrounded by pure madness of anxious packaging, and even in front of the department entrances, there's some baby food for cyborgs piled up. I'm frantically trying to decipher the crooked inscriptions. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Dense energy blocks for chewing, infused nutritional flows, and food afraid of heat. How about infused nutritional flows? Excuse me. Here are endless shelves of drinks. Next to Coca-Cola are bottles labeled liquid regret and primordial broth, now with nucleotides. Cans labeled Brapsy, vodka, Solnechko. I'd love to meet the person who came up with these names. I check each shelf, pushing aside cans of essence of shits and giggles, but find nothing resembling blood. The closest thing is liquid ᴠɪᴅᴇᴏ in a giant wooden container. It smells worse than it looks. Uh-oh. What? Food afraid of heat? Large freezer? Ah, here we go. Liquid family. Oh my god. Frozen pizza, gremlin cryo capsules, a bucket of ice cream, minty tritium, liquid family, huge freezer chamber. Matter of lesser life forms. Product of animal fodder, exploitation with fruit pieces. Spare parts of human organisms. This section reeks of formaldehyde and horror. Glass jars filled with murky liquid sits on the shelves. I try not to think about one of the containers holding a name tag that reads Kevin. Take blood of human organism Kevin. Taste of unfulfilled dreams and unwarranted expectations. Take blood of human organism homeless. High content of cheap alcohol and tuberculosis. Or blood of human organism Michael. Taste of efficient resource and artifact accumulation. Let's take the last one. The blood in this jar is a rich, almost glowing ruby hue. It looks healthy and full of energy. Michael, whoever you are, you were on top. Champion's blood flowed through you. You were probably something like an energy drink for the undead. And yet, here you are in a jar. There's something to ponder. He abruptly lifts his head as I approach. You... already? His voice carries genuine surprise and clear relief. Well, good thing you weren't wandering around for half an hour. Bring it here. My client finishes the jar and then grimaces. Oh, for crying out loud! What the hell is this crap? He reads the note on the jar. Michael? Well, you were a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, a successful career, a retirement account. And this jerk probably never even had cockroaches. At least he's now liquid Michael in a jar. He chuckles quietly. Yeah. There's something to that. Cool that you found human blood. Good job. You're sharp. Glad to please you, sir, and glad you no longer want to eat me. Haha. With that approach to business, you'll go far, doll. I'm gonna wash my dirty face. Don't get bored. While he's not here, I have a perfect opportunity to wipe away the blood stains. I'm just scrubbing a pool of blood on my first day of work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. I'm doing just fine. Nobody's eaten me. He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression still resembles that of a constipated owl. I'll just, stand here for a while. Okay. Taking a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. And just so you know, try to contact the werewolves. They'll take your head and crush it like a walnut. I'm David, by the way. A vampire, as you might have already guessed. What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance, especially that part about the walnut. Nice to meet you, Diana. Okay, Diana. I knew a Diana once. Used to trade kidneys in Venice Beach. She was a good girl, till she got packed up. He's trying to provoke me, deliberately sharing the dirty details of his life to see how uncomfortable I can get. Suppose I'm also selling some kidneys now. Yeah, exactly 10 categories. A catalogue? Do you seriously have a catalogue? He leans forward, genuinely intrigued, peering into the catalogue. Gremlin kidneys? Is that a delicacy? Hey, forget about it! Thank you for the super chat.
I fugit about it.
Why does it say both delicacy and fuel and an animal venom? Because it's a universal product. Want some? I do. Looks like I found my best customer for today. Now I have a vampire here and he's regenerating. Wonderful. The main thing is to not accidentally blurt out something wrong. I need to be friendly. Are you sure you're a vampire, not a chupacabra? They drink blood too. What the hell kind of question is that? What's wrong with you? You seriously don't know the difference between a vampire and a chupacabra? Chupacabras are mindless animals that run on 4 legs. They scare farmers in Texas. They eat goats. I don't know. They bark. They stink. I stink too. But that's because that's dirt from the battlefield. There's a difference. He says this with the look of a professor. And they definitely can't talk. Do I have 4 legs? Fur? Maybe a damn goat in my teeth? Or did I run in on 4 legs with a goat in my mouth? No. You know why? Because you're not a chupacabra? Right on the money, motherfucker. I'm not a chupacabra. I think what bothers him most is that a chupacabra is small. He clearly wants to be big and cool creature. I'm not a chupacabra! Ah! I have a vitamin D deficiency. I don't have the rickets. I'm pale because I don't go outside. I'm not a chupacabra. Have you ever seen a chupacabra, smart guy? You'd be better off not knowing what I've seen. A chupacabra is just the tip of the iceberg, all of the supernatural crap out there that crawls around here. David looks at me meaningfully. In his opinion, the topic is closed under a shroud of tough masculinity. But something tells me he will return to this question. David slightly grimaces as he moves his hand. Damn mutts. Probably not all the wounds have healed completely, and does being a vampire doctor fall under my duties? I think Bob said it was mandatory. Let me help. He looks at me skeptically. The offer of help is probably so foreign and unexpected to him that it leaves him momentarily dumbfounded. You what? You want to play nurse? The flicker of confusion is replaced by something more intense. It's just a couple of scratches and a little piece of ass that will grow back on its own. I'm fine. I see. You're afraid of doctors, huh? Such a tough guy. Scared of getting treated. Afraid? I'm not scared of anything in this life. I'm the most fearless bloodsucker in the world. I'm not afraid of some nurse with crooked hands. I've dealt with such crap that you... Wait a second. Are you trying to challenge me? Shake my head with the most sincere look of innocence on my face. Fine. Damn it. Hand over your first aid kit. If another werewolf isn't hiding in there, I have no reason to worry. I decided to keep quiet about the very real possibility that there might actually be a werewolf hiding in there. I'm not sure of anything at this cursed gas station. Damn you. Go ahead. Get out your band-aids with Dr. Chocula or whatever you're selling. David sheds his jacket, shirt, and t-shirt, then settles onto a squeaky stool next to the counter. He's about to face a serious trial, staying in a vulnerable position for a few minutes. For some reason, cruel fate hasn't made him claw-proof. Certainly looks like he was just thrown into a blender. Judging by those bullet scars, he has quite an interesting past. Or maybe he was attacked by werewolf cowboys with guns. Most likely the former. By the way... Oh, wait. By the way, I didn't know that corpses have doctors too. But the only doctor available to me now is the coroner. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting under the counter. It's a heavy military-style metal box with a faded label reading, Kit for Alternatively Living Organisms. Inside, besides standard bandages, there are some strange items. Silver tweezers, vials of thick glowing liquid, additional fingers, and of course an instruction manual. A cheap laminated brochure stained with something that looks like coffee. In the instructions, the first point states, determine whether you are dealing with a zombie. Ask your alternatively living subject if they ever wanted to eat someone's brain. David is clearly not a zombie. He glances skeptically at the pictures flashing in the instructions as I flip it over. Zombies, necromancers, abominations made of bones, flesh, and cabbage swirl in front of his face like a mesmerizing kaleidoscope. And, all of this lives in the city sewers? I don't know how you're going to use bathrooms now. It would be great if you didn't notice that. Why do I have to deal with all this? I steal a glance at my visitor. I wonder if werewolves just clawed him up or if he managed to kill someone too. My instincts, something out of the Stone Age, suggest that he could have. Guy's got killer gaze. You see someone like him in an alley, your hand automatically reaches for your wallet and phone. I lower my eyes. Next point. Let's establish the nature of the injuries. What kind of wounds could werewolves leave? And it's simple. You've got lacerations, claws, teeth, and a bit of saliva. Possibly very contagious. David listens to this with the pride of a true soldier. Every word feels like a medal for valor. Something like that. He said it as if he didn't care, but I know better. Stroke his ego! Or I can shake my head. You really need to stop with these fights. They won't lead to anything good. He blinks in surprise. He doesn't understand whether I'm joking or showing concern. Either way, both things annoy him. And you need to stop dishing out advice and learn to do your job in silence. They say that's an incredibly useful skill. I read through the medication I need and grabbed the regenerating extract for alternatively living life forms, and now all that's left is to apply the stuff. I dip my fingers in the jar and suddenly he grabs my hand. Do something wrong, and I'll rip your tonsils out through your arse. Allow me to do my job, sir. I will be extremely careful. The phrase of any faceless representative of the service sector, my perfect shield against the surrounding world and the rude vampires that inhabit it. Watch yourself. You won't get a second chance. No, not my vampire's doctor license. I apply the black goo to the wound. A puff of steam rises from the wound and the air starts to smell like something is frying. It's probably very painful, but David remains calm, not a single complaint, which is surprising. Ugh. I hope it's not from your squid manager. Well, we all hope for that, Betty. Pour a little more goo on him. Man drinks accidentally, and a generous dollop of black goo splats right in the center of the massive wound. The hissing grows louder, and the smoke thickens. David grits his teeth. The tough guy is helpless. He can't tell the act of revenge from a medical procedure. The ointment punishes him for all his sins. I finish up. Surprisingly, the wounds really are healing. The scars won't beautify this man. Why are you doing all this? The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. It's driving me crazy, even more than that clown from earlier, it seems. I just want help. Why? David is confused. In his system of beliefs, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into this flawless, long-running mechanism. I can't watch someone suffer. Wow. God bless your noble heart. He shakes awkwardly. Clearly, he's uncomfortable and unaccustomed to being the object of compassion, so he immediately hides under yet another sarcastic comment. But what can I do? I feel sorry for every little kitten on the street. Sometimes I even feel sorry for especially large, nasty, troublesome kittens. It must be tough, living with someone like that, huh? I bet you have 40 cats living in your apartment, and all of them are strays. David reads me like an open book. It's amazing that he can even read at all. Most of the time, help isn't altruistic. People always want something in return. Money, a favor, or you to take them off the hook. Helping people for no reason is like throwing shit against the wind. All right. Moving on. Screw this. I honestly don't care what's going on in your head. This is the most unconvincing lie I've ever heard in my life. He clears his throat. Thank you. What am I hearing things? Thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe so I don't scare off this rare exotic display of politeness. He says that word as if he's pronouncing it for the first time in his life. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and he's back at the front of the counter. So the client is fed, cleaned, and healed. And yet he's still here, not putting any money on the counter. And the tip jar is lacking. I look at him. He's supposed to be full of energy, but instead he looks lost. David is deep in thought in that dark, gloomy little place that occupies his mind. Can I do anything else for you, sir? Seemingly simple question stumps him. David frowns and looks past me for a while before responding. Yeah, you can do something. I'm curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human in a long time. I wonder by regular human does he mean my extremely natural essence? I'm no vampire, werewolf, or thieving gnome. Or does he mean my lack of criminal record, an absence of drug or alcohol dependency? Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker, a working class person, a gray collar. Does your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something? I don't even get a chance to respond to his jab before he follows up. Let's, conduct an experiment. Suppose you're now free vampire, able to go wherever you want. Do whatever you want. Where would you go? David looks at me expectantly. A lot of things depend on who exactly turned me into a vampire. Who vamped you? He doesn't answer right away, just furrows his brow. Several long minutes pass in silence. Some old stinking jerk. A lot is mixed into those 4 words. As if he both hates and mourns the old jerk. Probably that guy wasn't a contender for Father of the Year. I wait for him to continue, but he remains silent. He looks like an angry, cornered dog. It's unlikely he'll speak up on his own. And what did your old stinking jerk do? Don't call him that. Damn it! Don't you dare. The rage in his eyes shifts to confusion, just for a brief moment before he looks away. Yeah. Call him whatever you want, including old stinking jerk. So what did he do? That jerk suffered from power seizures. That's all there is to say about him. No amount of booze could erase what that damn villain did in my memory. Suppose all old vampires are like that. Seems like he won't tell me more about his vampire dad. David looks at me expectantly. Can you find everyone who wronged you in life and get revenge? Yeah, of all people, think about that first. But it's a bad idea to leave a trail of bodies of people you were somehow connected to. And your head quickly fills with other things like, well, the fact you're dead, and it's forever. So after you've been turned, you didn't find everyone who bullied you in school and beat them up? I usually beat them up right at school. Ah, right. You might think I was some kind of bully, but constantly pulling pranks. But I was actually quiet in class. Just messing around at the back of class like an invisible man. Until some jerk started picking on me. Once, I smashed a globe over a guy's head because he mocked my sneakers. As if wearing clothes from Walmart made me worse than them. Good thing we don't have globes here. David looks at me expectantly. Who were you before the bite? He opens his mouth ready to tell me off or mentions something about butts again, but he stops himself. Probably his thank you sealed our fragile friendship. I'll tell you, but it's probably not relevant. Well, it's nothing. I was a nobody. I was just surviving as everything went to hell. Unlike all those bastards born with silver spoon up their arse. Up their arse? You ever see those happy American families in TV commercials? They sit at the table with a bowl of salad, smiling like idiots, and they always have a dog. Well, that wasn't in my case. My stepdad was a crazy guy who thought the best birthday gift was a smack on the head. He did teach me how to shoot properly, though. I left my family dump early. It's really dumb, but I thought if I'd start a band and become a rock star. Star! But, as they say, wish in one hand, shit in the other. See which one fills up faster. At first, I worked wherever I could. Then found some guys to do some shady stuff with. There aren't many ways to make a living in Los Angeles area. Can't exactly work the cash register right. David jabs again, but without malice. The antisocial environment made him resentful of the middle and upper classes, but it hasn't affected me yet. I wonder why. That's it. That's the whole story. What about you? Oh Lord, this is my chance to make up something cool, or just tell it like it is. I have a single parent family and an art degree, and no dog. Ako, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Hi, hope you had a good stream. My name is Chizu Coyote, your student council president. We're doing a showcase of Spooktober Visual Novel Jam entries. And I hope you had a good time. And I hope you're ready for more of this. Digital bird raid. Yeah. If you need to do some self-care, get a drink, take a nap, whatever, that's totally understandable. But if you stick around, I hope you enjoy the rest of this. I didn't sell drugs in alleys, but it seems we still found some common ground. Got it. Not in your element. David truly understands. Neither he nor I wanted to end up where we were. Neither of us knows what to do next. And we both love cheap noodles. But he can't eat them anymore. I win. Ugh. You must be tired of those draw me requests, huh? I would draw you. Oh, like a French girl. Tries to look nonchalant, but his eyes show he's interested. Go ahead. I love beautiful doodles. This word doodles with such strange tenderness that it sounds more like a compliment than an insult. I pick up a pencil. I'm gonna draw him as he is. How cute and sweet. Wow, what a face. I almost forgot what I look like. Bags under my eyes like a junkie. Silence hangs in the air while David examines the drawing. He clearly doesn't know how to react to this unexpected little act of normalcy. Looks cool! The last words are spoken in a barely audible, almost reverent whisper, unlike anything I've ever heard from him before. Two simple words, said with all the sincerity this guy can muster. I can do something too. David takes a pencil from me and with a deep concentration, almost sticking out his tongue, scribbles something. 2 minutes later, a drawing appears before me. I never would have thought this guy was capable of that. You draw better than me and I have an education! Ha! Come on. It's nothing. I'm not much of an artist. I was into it a bit when I was a kid. Comics, all that stuff. Nothing serious. I take the drawings for myself. Alright, where were we? Uh-oh. He turned into a bat. I don't have time to blink before David vanishes. Now he's a little bat hiding in the over the counter.
Listen up! Don't say anything about me! Sit tight and behave or you'll feel incredibly shitty. Trust me, if you rat me out to that mutt, I'll find a way to get out and twist your head off.
Werewolf! A werewolf is about to come here now. The creature steps inside. Good evening, ma'am. Hello, rumbling bass, surprisingly calm and friendly. Can I pet you? Can I pet that dog? Ma'am? I'm not sure I understand you correctly. You want to pet me? The awkwardly shifts from paw to paw. That's very unexpected, and of course flattering, ma'am. Don't you get me wrong. I'm kind of on duty, tracking the supernatural. He looks around nervously. All right, you can, but just a little. I still have important business. I reach out and pet him. The fur is warm, soft, and thick. I immediately feel a low vibration. The werewolf is quietly, silently purring. At first, it's a barely noticeable movement, but then his short, fluffy tail starts to wag slowly but confidently from side to side. He's a good boy, a very, very big good boy. He deserves praise. I'm the Princess Mononoke of this gas station. Although David doesn't seem thrilled, I'll pull my hand back. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. It's been a while since I've been, Anyway, thank you. So getting back to the purpose of my visit. Apologies for this sudden intrusion. Edward, you can just call me Eddie. We're chasing down a certain pest. You haven't seen a vampire around here by any chance, have you? You know, a bit scruffy, wearing a leather jacket. You see, here's the story. One of our packs nearly took out a vampire sire and his offspring a few hours ago. It was a tough battle. We suffered losses. We tried to track them and found one of them, well, more like a pile of ash where he once lay. Seems one bloodsucker offed the other when he was weakened. Their family values are quite lacking. It seems patricide has occurred. David didn't tell me anything about it. Probably that's why he had all those questions about vampirism. He was trying to get advice on where to go next after killing his creator, but in a completely idiotic way. You see, ma'am, vampires are parasites on the body of our society. They drink blood like mosquitoes, but unlike mosquitoes, they kill their victims by draining them dry. They languish in boredom with their immortality, and thus destroy human destinies, play with them, torment them, and derive a semblance of pleasure from their suffering. They are devoid of true feelings. I look at David, devoid of any feelings. He's shaking all over. So I would be extremely grateful for any help. I'm not gonna give David away. That bastard threatened me 5 minutes ago, but now he's small, trembling, helpless. He's my bastard. I force a smile and say I haven't seen anything. A quiet, peaceful night. Eddie examines me closely. He's probably catching a faint scent of blood, but my calm demeanor throws him off. Huh, strange. Well, okay, if he shows up, just give me a whistle. We won't be far away from here. Good night, ma'am. The werewolf goes off to his important wolf business. David crawls out of his hiding spot. You could have turned me in. He stares into my eyes as if trying to peer into my soul and understand what it's made of. And that would have been the sensible decision. But I'm glad you're not one of those sensible ones. David says this with a genuine relief in his voice. He's grateful to me and now doesn't quite know what to do with the gratitude. Clears his throat awkwardly. So, what's the answer to my question? What would you do if you were a vampire? His gaze reminds me of a lost fighting dog. Without a master, he's restless. He's restless and can't find his place. What an advisor he picked. May the Lord help him. I mean, you could learn so many things, read so many books, even learn to play the saxophone. I've touched on something deeply personal. His lack of education, his unrealized dreams. It's dangerous territory. Perhaps before me stands a great unrealized astrophysicist or the next Mozart. Saxophone? Seriously? You want to play blues? David laughs, but the laughter quickly fades. I remind him that he can now become whoever he wants, break free from the usual tough guy routine. Okay. I'll think about it. Just forget the saxophones. Always wanted to learn guitar. Hooray, rock vampires! Here, take it. For buying a saxophone. He's about to turn around and leave when he suddenly stops. He pulls a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket, scribbles a number on it, leaves it on the table next to my hand. But just as I reach for it, his hand covers mine, pressing it to the table. His skin feels cold, rough from barely visible scars and blisters. This grave-like chill sharply contrasts with the warmth of my own hand. I feel a slight tingling, like static electricity. Call me if you need a ride from work. Got a couple ideas for what we could do before dawn. See ya. David says goodbye and leaves. The gas station sinks into absolute silence. Well, that was quite an interesting encounter. I really could have turned him in, but I didn't want to. Hang the drawing on the wall. How cute! For someone obsessed with ass-related threats, surprisingly his hands are quite skilled. Now also I have a date invitation from a guy who wanted to make me his dinner half an hour ago. I survived another visitor. Seems like I'm starting to get used to this job. Wiping off the sticky residue, hoping it was just spilled soda from the counter, I suddenly hear the crunch of gravel outside. Hooves? This is definitely not another vampire. The stranger leans against the counter, trying to look casual, but the way his tail twitches betrays his nervous tension. Hi. He clears his throat. Hello, babe. My name is Victor. Aren't your parents pirates by any chance? Aren't your parents farmers by any chance? I took his awkward attempt at flirting and made it my own. Now I'm the captain of this ship since I am a true descendant of pirates. Victor nervously taps his hoof on the floor. No? Then where'd they get such a sweet peach? His face instantly lights up, so much so that even his ears are smoking, it seems. Thank you. He shuffles his foot. Miss. Actually, I wanted to give you a compliment. I mean to flirt. Victor makes vague gestures with his hands as if trying to describe a complex mechanism that just exploded. It was all supposed to go completely different. You were supposed to blush and giggle, and you broke it all, miss. So he believes this was really supposed to work on real-life people? His face is burning. Victor takes another deep, frantic breath. His stomach is growling so horribly. I hope this guy's okay. Is it really that bad? I mean, is my flirting technique really that terrible? Awkwardness is a great style. I liked it. This might be the best compliment he's ever heard in his life. Probably the only one. You liked it? His voice mixes surprise, disbelief, and a shy glimmer of joy. I'm glad you like awkwardness because I have plenty of it. You probably noticed. Right off the bat, is it really written on my face? Actually, I initially chose this tactic to charm you, miss. Of course, everything went according to plan. He coughs shyly and mumbles something to himself. Then he shifts his gaze back to me. Actually, miss, I'm here to acquire... He doesn't get to finish. We have a visitor. She stands next to the counter, clicking her mandibles impatiently.
2 packs of Brapsy.
A pack of screaming cheese and a bag of fairy fingers, darling. By the way, your gas attendant is a real sweetheart. It's frightening to imagine what my invisible colleague looks like. He hasn't even bothered to say hello. And hurry up, I need to rush. I have a lot of work waiting for me today. I'm starting to pack the order. At the same time, this incubus awkwardly tries to hit on the lady, and I thought we had something special! Apparently, the failed Casanova decided to try his luck on a new victim. Wow, you seem so busy and cool, man. And you must have a very wonderful job. She starts clicking her mandibles energetically, producing a buzzing sound that vaguely resembles laughter. Ah, wonderful. Oh, yes, wonderful. Wonderful for those who don't like to eat, sleep, or see their children grow. It's called Don't Eat the Cashier. Really, the best job in all 9 worlds, speaking of children. Victor barely recovers from her sarcasm when the lady immediately pulls a wallet out of her bag and unfolds it. Over and over again, it seemed endless. This is Goo Goo. He has his father's mandibles. Victor gazes into the abyss, and the abyss gazes back, revealing baby pictures. The seduction attempt has failed again. Like any mother, Lady Mantis loved her children and considered it her sacred duty to tell every passing incubus about them. This is Goo Goo. He's in his rebel phase right now. He pierced his mandibles. Can you imagine? He makes such a racket when he eats. The image of a larva in a biker jacket makes me snort and reminds me of David. And this is Gigi and Gaga. They're still larvae, but already so talented. What talents can larvae have? They just lie there and eat. I do too, though. Wait, don't think about that. You have very beautiful children, ma'am. All 20 of them. Incredibly cute. That's just the first wallet. Oh, I got a bit carried away. I really am in a hurry. Here, your money, darling. Victor watches her disappear into the night, then turns to me with a grateful look. Thank you, miss. I couldn't handle 20 more kids. To be honest, I already broke down at the 8th. And I thought looking after a cat was hard. Lady left very little in tips. Probably all her money went to her children. Victor suddenly remembers he came here to buy something. However, my visitors rarely recall that. I need a book. Victor scans my stinking supernatural realm of discount rot and chocolate bars. It's a guide for, well, you know, succubi and incubi. I can't remember what it's called, but I've definitely heard something about it. Could you, take a look? It's definitely not for me. It's for my less experienced friend, because I'm, employee of the month in my lair. He didn't specify whether he was the worst or the best employee of the month. Well, life force harvesting for dummies or something like that. I hear him mumbling quietly to himself. Such a shame. I shouldn't have stayed home and rewatched Evangelion for the 9th time. I'm heading to the storage room. Just a few hours before I was rushing around here looking for blood for a very hungry monster, now all these vials, eyes, and tentacles seem less ominous. A gigantic dead moth lies on top of one of the boxes, or perhaps it's just very tired. I'm rummaging through the book section. Deep in between baboon metaphysics and limits of patience of your dead servants, I find the desired volume. I come back from the storage room holding this forbidden mind-bending treatise titled Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Demons and Everything You Didn't Want to Know About Them. Wow, this is definitely better. Well, definitely better than those PDF guides from various sites for, never mind who. Clearly not for the whole family. Let's study it. Yes, it would be very unusual if you just paid me, tipped me, and moved along. I expect too much from this life. But in fact, this will be an entertaining educational lesson. It certainly won't be unnecessary. And the guy looks like those pictures are enough to make him faint. The sooner this is over, the sooner I can send him on his way. We find a cozy spot next to the counter. I pull the grimoire closer. I open the book and the pages, yellowed and brittle with age, release a cloud of dust and indecent, horrifying desires. Incubi, the nature of the tempting rogue, hooves of desire. Tempting rogues? That's me. Yes, that's definitely me. Hooves are just like mine. You have no idea how awful they clop, especially on tiles. When you sneak to the fridge at night, the whole house wakes up with you. Everyone thinks there's a big clumsy cow living in your apartment. Yeah, I think you really are an incubus. They're all purple. Oh, you're right. All incubi really are purple. I thought my skin color was just some kind of coincidence. You know, like when you create a character in a video game and just spin the color wheel until you stumble upon something weird? He gives me a cautious look, as if I'm not entirely sure about the coolness of his purple hue. I love the color purple. Too bad I'm not purple. His face immediately brightens with a smile. Yeah, well, I think it's pretty cool too. Nice to know you like my, what's it called? Demonic phenotype? Victor turns his attention back to the book and runs his clawed finger down the lines. Incubi, appreciators of the vibrant hues of the soul. They draw power not from blood or life force, but from the pure, potent energy of mortal emotions. And although a refined bouquet of positive emotions is the preferred ambrosia, ambrosia, what a fancy word, a practitioner can also sustain themselves with more coarse, fickle energies of negativity. Despair, horror, and humiliation provide a quick, albeit unpleasant, rush of power. It's no wonder that now, after an argument with someone in the comments, I feel like I've eaten a few raisins. Judging by the expression on his face, he clearly isn't cut out for horrors and humiliations. His limit is probably arguing on 4chan, also a kind of source of horrors and humiliation, but still, it's a bit different. An incubus can, albeit less effectively, form a symbiotic connection by feeding off a single, consenting mortal vessel. The mortal vessel, in turn, can absorb some of the power from the incubus. Among other things, their immortality. Wow, sounds like a decent deal. I certainly always have plenty of emotions, mostly hatred for the fact that, to earn money, you have to work. A whole mountain of raisins for Victor, or whatever he called it. What a relief, just one person. The thought of having to chase after a whole bunch of strangers makes me feel sick. But I love communicating. Well, sometimes. Oh, well, it's cool when you get along, people. Some people are probably just made for that. And me, well, I'm just me. I always feel like I'm saying something wrong. Because I usually do say something wrong. Seems like I'm doing it right now, too. So, yeah, getting attached to one person you don't have to try to constantly impress strangers, that's just a dream. Victor flips through the grimoire, reading the chapter titles. Technique of rogue seduction. Juicy emotional juices. Using lascivious... What? Lascivious energies for thaumaturgical purposes? I don't even know. I don't even want to know. I just want to not starve without energy and maybe pay my rent. I don't need to be the lusty cousin of Doctor Strange. His finger finally jabs at a random chapter title somewhere in the middle. Love letters. Seems completely and irrevocably outdated. Especially the part about carrier pigeon colors. Love letters? Who writes love letters anymore? This should apply to text messages now, right? But this is a good start. Let's work on this before moving on to more complex seduction methods. He pulls out a pin from somewhere, a cheap ballpoint with a little anime cat charm on the end. I hand him a grease-stained napkin, like everything in this rotten place. The book says to convey aching adoration and a hint of forbidden desire. Victor started scribbling something on the napkin. Maybe something like this. This conveys aching adoration perfectly. Really? You think so? Ah, thanks. I mean, it's obviously a silly picture, but it has a lot of layers of meaning, you know? It's like it's saying, I'm just a humble being unworthy of your gaze, but I'm supported only by crumbs of your attention. Have a nice lurk, Akka. Victor continues to flip through the book. Recognizing the desires of the vessel, he scans the first few lines of text. It's all about observing subtle hints, interpreting body language, and engaging in candid conversations to uncover the special nature of mortal carnal desires. He glances at me. What does Vessel Diana want? This vessel wants fame, love, and adoration. The vessel wants to become the new Sandro Botticelli. Who? Okay. Oh, that's a piece of cake. It says here that an incubus can always be a muse for an artist. Most of the time, the problem is that you lack the energy to create a masterpiece, not that you're incapable of it. I'm not sure what matters to you, public opinion or just your own, but if you're happy, then I'll be happy too. Feeding off positive emotions, remember? I'd say I could bring you ideas too, but I'm not very good at creativity. Only when it comes to how to creatively crap myself in public. We continue to study this villainous seduction manual, The Art of Verbal Seduction and Slippery Flattery. To his surprise, Victor finds no mention of the fact that pirate compliments work on living people. We examine the first paragraph where words are labeled as keys to the treasure chest of the heart, and flattery is described as a powerful aphrodisiac for the ego. It's all very dramatic, but the main idea is quite simple. Say nice things and don't say unpleasant things. This is definitely outdated. If I tell someone that his eyes are double gateways to the Champs-Élysées, I'll definitely get sprayed with pepper. And this, good lord, when I kiss you, I tremble like a paralyzed beggar. How is that even supposed to work? Nah, that's too much, even for me. Victor clears his throat. His gaze slides over me, trying to latch on to something particularly attractive about my appearance. You, yeah, very, elegant ear shape. No, you. Do I? Thank you. They're very nimble now. But there's no instruction for when someone compliments you back. Probably. Don't blush, and that's something I didn't manage. Takes a deep breath, gathering his courage for another compliment. For a while, he tries to find some foothold to latch onto, but he can't seem to find the words. You are a very multifaceted person. You combine so much. I don't know how exactly to describe it. He lets out a quick chuckle. But I like that you're so unpredictable. A lot of stress, of course, but it's incredibly fun. Now my unpredictability is a source of stress for someone else. How wonderful. That wasn't bad. Despite everything, he starts to relax. He's probably beginning to feel more comfortable around me. I would have never thought a monster would have to struggle with discomfort from interacting with a mortal soul, and not the other way around. Another chapter. How to be a mirror. I didn't know we could change. Oh, it's metaphorical. The text describes the principle of mirroring, subtly borrowing mannerisms, speech patterns, and even expressing opinions of the victim to create a sense of closeness and understanding. The path of least resistance to gaining mortal attachment. Oh no, what about all that stuff about just be yourself and everything will work out? My mom lied to me, didn't she? With similar interests, what do ordinary people like? Football and the weather? Definitely not anime and Dark Souls. Discussing the brilliant soundtrack of Silent Hill with people is a bad idea, that's for sure. Alright, practice. The book says that practice is the key to success. Victor lifts his gaze to me. Play along with me, please, like we just met. Beautiful mortal soul, I have appeared to you in half-dreams so many times. But I finally decided to find you in reality. I won't let you go so easily again. Even though the words aren't the most elegant, there's something supernatural about them. I still begin to feel a pull. A shiver runs down my spine. Come on, you don't have to pretend to get close to someone or make friends. I'd love to talk about the Silent Hill soundtrack. Victor's carefully crafted seductive expression shatters into pieces. His eyes widen, he blinks several times, and his gaze ignites with pure delight. You really want to talk about Akira Yamaoka's industrial soundscapes? And how they create an all-encompassing sense of psychological horror that reflects the protagonist's inner turmoil? Because, I mean, the use of trip-hop elements in the Silent Hill 3 soundtrack is criminally underrated. Criminally! Oh, I mean... Yes, mortal, your interest in such esoteric melodies is quite intriguing. He chuckles softly. But you're right. Pretending is very exhausting. You can never truly be close to someone if you're always pretending. Though, I don't really need that, do I? I just need juicy, sweet emotions. Well, who am I kidding? I'm the most pathetic incubus in the world. I need more than just that. He's slipping through the tree teats a bit longer before letting out a sigh. His stomach growls again. Seems he could use an emotional snack. Think we've covered all the important stuff. I suppose it's time to wrap things up. He starts to rise from the floor. How did it happen that no one explained anything to you, even at a briefing, a 2-minute one? I'll tell you, but promise you won't laugh. Yeah, wonderful. I accidentally sold my soul on the dark net. He holds a dramatic pause. Go on. Fuck, what an idiot I was. I dropped out of college back then because of constant stress, moved into a tiny dump, and barely loved my apartment. I was scraping by with some freelance work. I talked, well, sometimes I chatted with various anonymous folks from 4chan, people without names, gender, or age. And then I stumbled upon a stupid ad. What did I have to lose? Definitely not a demon 7566 in the chat offered me a chance to escape loneliness. Later, after I turned into this creature, told me he did it for laughs. He left no instructions. He just wrote "get good" in the chat and deleted all the contact. He was curious to see if I could handle it. His chance to escape loneliness turned out to be putting me in an incredibly deadly situation. He lifts his eyes to me. This memory is a fresh wound for him. Before I can even respond, he jumps up from the floor. But I've already wasted enough of your time. Clops his way to the counter. Well, to be honest, I didn't really understand much. Those chapters are so strange. But you know what? It was great. I haven't had this much fun in a while. I even ate properly. Finally. Positive energy, I mean. Thanks for the lunch. I'm not even sure if I need to pay for that too, but I'll leave some money just in case. Tail twitches awkwardly. I haven't really interacted with people since college killed my will to live. Felt strange not to feel like such an idiot around someone. Thank you very much. Tosses some money into the jar, then takes a deep breath and adds, and maybe someday we could hang out together. Not as a lesson, just play some silly games like friends. Okay, buddy, I'll think about it. But why not as friends? Why not as friends? We could make it a date. A date? His tail starts wagging wildly, knocking over 3 bags of chips, a can of soda, and a bottle of Gloomy D. I'm in, of course, I'm ready! He struggles to rein in the flow of enthusiasm and takes a frantic breath. See you then. Goodbye. Bye, Diana. Good luck with your shift. It was nice to meet you. The gas station returned to silence, broken only by the hum of refrigerators and my own 2 loud thoughts. So a crazy god, a vampire thug, and a shy incubus walk into a gas station. Sounds like the start of a really bad joke. My life is now a joke. Just great. I just wanted to pay my bills. I didn't sign up for interdimensional quarrels and therapy sessions for the undead. But on the other hand, I wasn't eaten, and I wasn't turned into a piece of furniture. By the standards of this night, that's a resounding success. I cautiously glanced at the door to Bob's office. There was a low guttural humming like a giant disgruntled computer tower was working inside. The clock on the wall indicated it was the end of my shift. With a heavy sigh of relief, I began closing up the place. Finally, I walked to the front door, inserted the key into the lock, and was about to turn it when suddenly... Organism! I jumped in place, nearly dropping everything. Organism! Your performance has exceeded all my algorithmic predictions by 47.3%! You are not just an organism, you are an efficient, flawless machine for generating currency! I am feeling an emotion your kind describes as managerial pride! If you keep up the good work, the possibility of receiving a 25-cent bonus will become not just hypothetical, but quite real! Go, organism! Restore your energy resources in return for further exploitation! What a relief. He vanished as suddenly as he had appeared, leaving nothing but ringing silence behind. I stood for a few seconds processing what I'd heard, then I slowly turned the key in the lock. Click. First shift completed. I survived. And now I can do anything, which means I can... I didn't get a chance to date with the first guy. Call David. Call Victor, or I can return to the store to Bob. A romantic evening awaits you. I'm gonna choose this one. First, I chose Victor, and it was very sweet and cool. I like Victor. Victor's my favorite. But I want to see what happens if I go to... Let's hang out with Bob. Oh no. Mr. Manager, we're not saying goodbye just yet. I head back to the gas station, push open the door to his office. Oh my god. In the middle of the room, buried under folders and invoices, stood a gigantic, ridiculously canopy bed, and on it, surrounded by rose petals, reclined Bob. Or rather, he wasn't just lying there, he was posing. One tentacle coyly supported his spherical body where a human's chin would be. Others were elegantly draped over the silk sheets. His numerous eyes blinked slowly, focusing on me. Ah, Organism Diana! I wasn't expecting you so soon! His voice, as always, boomed in my head, but now it had sultry undertones. But since you're here... One tentacle slowly, seductively beckoned me forward. I propose we spend the evening in romantic engagement. We'll study void, ᴑɪᴅᴇᴏ, and closure schemes. I took a step into the office and slowly closed the door behind me. Ah, that was funny. And cute. I like that one. That was cool. All right. Thank you all for joining me on this fun adventure for Spooktober Visual Novel Jam 2025. The awards show will be Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. You better be there. You better be here. But also, we're gonna watch a scary movie in our community Discord server tomorrow. So make sure you join Chizcord. And that's it. That's all there is for today. Time for me to go back to work. It never ends! Thank you. Thank you, Stella. And thank you all for being here. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'm so... Ah! I'm cooked. I'm cooked, chat. I'm cooked, chat. Bye!